make sure that we are ready for intensity and that we are, but on the other side, even against a high pressing and pressing team, which we usually like, teams are going for us. We'll give spaces in different areas, but we have to make sure that we are really ready for that, and will be a completely different game to the Wednesday game, for example.
This season is everything but not normal for us. Not normal in the positive and not normal in the negative way, and so I don't expect a normal game from our side on the weekend. We are in a good shape. We have a few problems with injuries, but the squad is concentrated working. We know about the difficulty of this challenge, but we need this challenge.
It's interesting and very exciting, I have to say. I couldn't respect more what they do, and what they, especially with the basis, from the basis they're coming from a really tough place in that strong league, doing it like that. And if they would have won against Wolves, I think they would be now already in a European place. So that's just amazing.
You want to go to the next level in your development, and we played against Chelsea, Leicester and all the teams away, and we did a good job. We want to see how far we are and how good we can compete against such a top team.
Ralph Hasenhüttl, and before that Jurgen Klopp. Go with Ralph for a second. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, October, 9-0 against Leicester. Everyone's saying he's gone, he's lost the dressing room, he's cooked. No, what a bounce back.
What a bounce back, and well done to the Southampton board and people for keeping faith with him. I mean, that it's rare and it doesn't happen, does it, in today's football? But yeah, you look back and you think back to them results, and I was even thinking myself, he's gone. He can't come back from this. The fans were going mad, but they stuck with him. He's turned it round, and they're sitting, 9th in the league now, which is fantastic.
And a word on Jurgen Klopp. I'm not even sure what we can say that hasn't been said already about his approach, his attitude, and just the way that he's kind of revolutionised this club and built on the foundations of Brendan Rodgers, I guess.
It's just the job that he's doing and has done is phenomenal. I mean, if he carries on over the next couple of years and he keeps winning trophies, if he wins the league this year, which is more than likely, and they maybe win another Champions League, you're starting to put him in the bracket of your Guardiolas and your Alex Fergusons. I know he's already up there, but you run out of things to say about him. I speak to people in and around Liverpool and the club, and nobody's got a bad word to say about him, and that is important.
Keep your tweets coming in as well. At TalkSport Live, Osmond Black thinks that Liverpool will win this game by 3-1. Probably not the worst of shouts. Prince Chibusa is saying Liverpool to win it by just 1-0. Your thoughts very, very welcome indeed. At TalkSport Live, where you're listening from, what you're up to today, please let us know your thoughts on the two clubs as well, and on this epic showdown that it's about to kick off. It is Liverpool and Southampton right here on Premier League Live.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, Frank Lampard here. Hi, I'm Jack Grealish from Game Day.
I'm Nick Pope, Burnley goalkeeper.
I'm Ross Barkley. Remember that Saturday is game day on TalkSport.
Game day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
TalkSport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at TalkSport.com now.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport. The Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy on TalkSport.
Get a pickled egg, some pork scratchings and a punch up by the pool table in the tasty local battle cruiser, where you get 2 Cockney loudmouths for the price of 1.
The usual, is it, sir? 2 Nelsons and a packet of Jelly Hill flavoured crisps.
Cool, blimey, I love a duck, governor.
It's time, gentlemen, please, to listen to the Sports Bar.
Open for business weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to TalkSport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Welcome back to Badger Watch. We've been unlucky the last 2 nights, and unfortunately we haven't seen any badgers yet, but fingers crossed we'll be in luck tonight. Hang on. I think this might be it. It looks like something is about to emerge from the den.
Excuse me, mate. Do you know if there's a bookies around here anywhere? The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport.
Discovering a brave new world of big names, big games, bravado, bully and bookies. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6.
Crikey, it's Alanus Brazilius
on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
Listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Southampton from Anfield. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me the former Stoke, Sunderland, Portsmouth winger Liam Lawrence. And this is Premier League Live. As ever, a spine-tingling, really chilling atmosphere here. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it, as we prepare for kick-off?
It really is.
Better.
It's packed to the rafters. Look at it. It's just a sea of red on all sides of the stadium. It's brilliant.
We'll never walk alone. Echoing around this famous old ground, the red and white scarves of the Liverpool fans and the flags being waved and lofted around the vast majority of this ground, and of course a pocket of Saints fans with a fair bit to shout about as well. 9th in the standings, just 1 defeat in 9, but this the toughest of possible tests against a rampant Liverpool team with 23 wins, 1 draw, no defeats in the Premier League this season, and bidding to go those incredible 22 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Will they do so? Hashtag YNWA. Frentowski has tweeted into us saying, we're going 22 points clear, listening live from Ghana. We appreciate your tweet at TalkSport Live. Keep them coming in. We'll take you back through the teams then. Liverpool with just the one change. The team that won for the 23rd time in 24 domestically in midweek. That was a 2-0 win at West Ham, whose woes continue. Back into midfield comes Fabinho, the Brazilian. Divock Origi drops down to the bench. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain pushes further forward. Alisson in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Gomez and Robertson at the back. Wijnaldum, Henderson the skipper and Fabinho in midfield. The Ox with Mo Salah and Bobby Firmino up front, up against the Southampton team who make 4 changes to the side under Ralph Hasenhüttl that drew 1-1 against Spurs in the FA Cup 4th round last weekend. Back comes Alex McCarthy in goal. Moussa Djenepo, Oriol Romeu and Shane Long come in. Angus Gunn, Michael Obafemi and Kevin Danso drop to the bench. Stuart Armstrong is out with a medium-term hip injury, so it's McCarthy in goal. Bit of uncertainty about how they're going to line up. We'll let you know for sure in a moment. We thought it would be Bertram, Bednarek, Stevens and Djenepo in the back 4. Ward-Prowse, Højbjerg and Romeu in midfield. Redmond, Long supporting Ings up front. But it could be a 3-man back line with effectively 2 wing-backs, Djenepo being one and possibly Ward-Prowse being one. We're not quite sure, are we? We're going to have a clear idea in a second.
We'll soon see how they shape up now.
Not the sort of thing Southampton would normally do to play 3 at the back. At the moment, though, they're on the attack early through Danny Ings, up against his former club, as he mentioned, chesting it down, surging to the left edge of the penalty area. But a little infraction on the far side. The ball, I think, flicking possibly off his arm. Whistle goes, and Liverpool, with a quick free kick, had the chance to clear. Lovely turn against his old club by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, just beneath our vantage point here on Premier League Live. He's dispossessed, though, and Liverpool are forced back through Virgil van Dijk. And another man playing against his former team, and what a player he is.
Yeah. He really is Colossus, isn't he?
Ball has come back to Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, back to Van Dijk, who dallies for a second and plays a relatively poor ball. Oriol Romeu with a speculative punt forward, doesn't really get hold of it. Saved by Alisson, whose distribution as ever is excellent. He kicks it downfield, looking for the pace of Mo Salah. Salah can't quite get there, and Alex McCarthy intercepts. We've got an idea now about how Southampton are lining up.
Yeah, I think Ward-Prowse is going to play right back in a 4,
which is what we thought, actually, possibly, isn't it? Either that or Djenepo. So is he wide right?
Yeah, Djenepo's gone in front of him, playing ahead of him. Romeu's in the middle with Højbjerg.
And as we know, Romeu back in the team as well, likes to really impose himself, put in the odd tough tackle, the former Chelsea and Barcelona man, and be that enforcer. Ball over the top from Liverpool again, this time looking for Roberto Firmino. He can't quite get there, and again McCarthy alert, comes scurrying to the edge of his box. I think the Saints keeper's going to have to do this a fair bit during this match, isn't he?
He is. I mean, we're a minute and 40 odd seconds in, and he's had to come to the edge twice to play sweeper, if you like.
All over the top again from Liverpool. Players slipping on the far side, I think too untoward. And it's back with McCarthy, and we take a little breather. It was Jordan Henderson, the captain, who just lost his footing. Got to say, the pitch with some fairly inclement weather of late, not looking the best, is it?
No, it looks a bit patchy and a bit bobbly, doesn't it? And it's not very often you say that about Anfield.
It is a rarity, I've got to say. Southampton boot the ball forward, controlled nicely by Shane Long. That was his first meaningful touch of the game. The Irishman tried to flick it onto Nathan Redmond, who couldn't control. Immediately 2 Liverpool players were on it. The ball, though, ricochets inadvertently off Jordan Henderson's elbow, and Southampton get a free kick pretty much bang on halfway.
Yeah, I must say this, I don't know whether this is really brave or a bit naive of Southampton to go and play a 4-4-2 at Anfield, because you would normally think they'd pack the midfield.
Ball over the top, looking for the pace of Moussa Djenepo, who is hugging this far touchline. He cut it, but he was narrowly offside. He's a quick player, and he's one, the Mali international, who can certainly unlock a defence. So good to see him get an opportunity today, and maybe catch Liverpool on the counter as they push forward.
He is, yeah, and he's...
Good play from Shane Long on this near side. Was he shoved in the back by Trent Alexander-Arnold? The answer is no. Referee, who is Kevin Friend today, by the way, had a good view, happy to wave play on. Yeah, Long trying to burst clear on this far side, but as I mentioned, Djenepo, he's a good outlet, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and it's interesting because he's playing really high, and so's Redmond on the other side, and they're covering, or they're pressing, covering Long and Danny Ings up top. It's like a 4 up top, if you like, when Liverpool have got the ball, leaving Romeu and Højbjerg behind them as security.
So it's a Liverpool throw, midway inside their own half. Little 1-2 between Alexander-Arnold and Fabinho. Now Firmino picks it up and finds Andy Robertson, who's stretching every sinew to keep the ball in play, but we mentioned it's slippery. It's not quite the best playing surface, and the Scot couldn't quite control it. He does keep it in play at least. Southampton playing it back to their keeper. Back downfield. And Ward-Prowse playing as a right back today, normally a right or central midfielder. Not perhaps his ideal position, but he was well placed there to win the ball. Prodded it forward looking for Long. Free kick goes against the Irishman. Ward-Prowse playing as a regular right back. Yes, he'll get help from those around him clearly, but it's a possible area of weakness, isn't it, for Saints today?
It is, because he's not a recognised right back, and he's going to have to get Djenepo back to help him when Liverpool are doubling up on that side.
Ralph Hasenhüttl has come from the dugout to the edge of his technical area, the Southampton manager in his grey trench coat with Southampton insignia, barking out 1 or 2 tactical orders to his team already, and just making sure their positioning is right in their pressing. They're doing the best to put Liverpool under pressure, but the Reds calmly play themselves out of any danger. Fabinho to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's bearing down. Was he tugged back by Moussa Djenepo? He was, and Djenepo had to be careful there, because probably wasn't a million miles away from a booking. That was fairly cynical.
It was, yeah. Oxlade-Chamberlain was getting away from him, cutting from the left about 40 yards out from goal, driving through the middle, and Djenepo just catches his heels. That's a danger, though, that rush. They press high, and if Liverpool do manage to break through the lines, they're in on them.
5 minutes played. Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Goalless in all the other games of the day so far. Earlier 2-2 in a real thriller between Leicester and Chelsea, and to come at 5:30 UK. Commentary here on Premier League Live with Man United versus Wolves. Ball over the top. Oh, that's a terrible free kick. Completely caught in 2 minds, Andy Robertson. Very rare that he lets people down with this delivery. He did there.
He did, yeah. It was a poor ball. It was a short one taken to him, and the ball's rolling. He tries to wrap his foot round it and get it to the back post, and let's just say it went beyond the back post.
Normally he's absolutely brilliant, isn't he? From a dead ball, from those crosses that he can whip in as well, overlapping down the wings. I guess we forgive everybody the odd one.
Well, we can forgive him this season because he's been phenomenal at times.
Ball back as far as Jack Stevens, the Southampton centre-half, who's fought his way back into a first-choice position in the central defensive positions in recent weeks. Scored a couple of goals of late as well, enjoying his form alongside Vestergaard and then alongside Bednarek. Just seen a bit more consistency of selection of late, haven't we, from Southampton, and that to me has also helped. They still rotate the odd player up front, but beyond that, there's a bit more of an idea, a bit more of a nucleus about who's going to start week in, week out, and give them some structure.
It does, and that's a great word to use, structure and identity. That's what you want. You don't want to keep chopping and changing players all the time. You need some consistency.
Joe Gomez, one of the players who's fought their way back into the Liverpool lineup of late. Lovren and Matip, both on the bench today. Nasty tackle there from the aforementioned Bednarek. The pole comes steaming in. Player down and in some pain.
Henderson,
it is. Henderson, you're right. Will Bednarek get a booking for that or not? Let's have a look at the replay on the big screen. It was Alexander-Arnold's ball. Bednarek looked for the ball, but he caught Henderson's ankle instead, didn't he? His right ankle.
He did, yeah. His studs were showing, and he catches the ankle of Henderson. He's lucky to get away with that one, Bednarek.
He was quite apologetic, wasn't he? And occasionally, early on in the game, if you say the right thing and react in the right way, it might just save you.
We're very clever at that sometimes, players. You know, early on, or if you catch someone and you know you've caught them and you could get booked. Oh, sorry about that.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Mea culpa and all of that. Alexander-Arnold this time takes the free kick from the right-hand side. It was Robertson charging forward who couldn't quite get there. Ward-Prowse, the makeshift right-back, intercepted well, and this is where Ward-Prowse could be a good outlet, surging forward. Lovely ball forward, looking for Shane Long. Van Dijk gets there first. Great defending from one of the world's greatest players, we can safely say. He intercepted beautifully. Fabinho back as far as Gomez, and now back to Alexander-Arnold. That was effortless, the way that Liverpool were stretched, but then won the ball back and cleared it.
He's just quite simply the best defender on the planet. He's probably one of the best I've seen in 20 years. He's absolutely frightening.
Premier League Player of the Year, of course, second best in the world by the recent FIFA vote. Not bad at all. Here comes Mohamed Salah. Oh, clever ball from the Egyptian with his left foot. Fizzed it to the edge of the 6-yard box. There were 2 or 3 Liverpool shirts up there. One of them could quite connect. Alexander-Arnold picked it up to Wijnaldum, who tried to slide it through as far as Robertson. And second time around, Liverpool maybe slightly guilty of just overplaying, but that first ball from Salah was glorious.
Yeah, it was, and it was just cut out as it would have made its way to a Liverpool player in the box. But they're just starting to get their rhythm going now a little bit, aren't they, Liverpool?
They're cranking through the gears. Luxury sports car that occasionally takes a while to get going, and when it does, it's beautiful, and maybe we're seeing a bit of that now. They're about second gear, maybe going into third.
Just getting off the drive they are, aren't they?
9 played, Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Keep your tweets coming in at TalkSport Live. Carol has said, out of work, on to breakfast. She's listening with a massive plate of donuts.
They look nice.
Oh my goodness, there's about 12 of them in there, all different sorts of toppings. Carol, if you're going to scoff that lot while you're listening to this commentary, fair play to you. You might not be able to get up for the rest of the day. Liverpool players, of course, with slightly healthier diets maybe than Carol, dare I say. 9.5 gone, Liverpool 0, Southampton 0 at TalkSport Live. Keep those tweets coming in. Martin Specco reckons it will be 3-2 to Liverpool in the end. If it is, we're going to have a busy odd afternoon in the commentary box, Martin. It's an interesting prediction. I don't know whether Saints could breach this Liverpool defence twice. I guess with someone like Ings, maybe they could.
They could, and with...
Was there a handball there? The Liverpool fans thought so, but it ricocheted back to Southampton, and now they can attack through Redmond. Clever ball over the top. Robertson's been drawn infield, so Gineppo has space on the edge of the penalty area, juggles it between his 2 feet. In the end he got it wrong, but was that surely that was a back pass from Robertson. Surely Andy Robertson played that back deliberately to his goalkeeper Alisson. Doesn't appear to have been spotted.
I cannot believe that has not been given.
Now, ball over the top to Salah. We'll come back to that because it was a very controversial moment. But because Liverpool are back on the attack, it's played off Bednarek and surely off Salah. Now, that's 2 awful decisions in a row for me. There was a back pass at one end, and off the other, Bednarek plays the ball off Mo Salah. That should be a goal kick. It's been given as a corner. And at the other end, despite Gineppo slipping, as Robertson intercepts, that's definitely a back pass.
I cannot... This is why there's so much controversy with referees and VAR, because Robertson literally passes the ball back to the keeper on the byline and the keeper picks it up. Liverpool go down the other end and manage to somehow get a corner.
Southampton have been stuffed on 2 decisions at each end of the space of 10 seconds. Instead of them having an indirect free kick, it's a Liverpool corner. It's swung in dangerously by Robertson. It falls to Salah, who's got 5 in 5 against Southampton. He can't quite pull the trigger. He's still buzzing 12 yards out. Again, he can't get it, but Alexander-Arnold picks it up, bends it in. Poor delivery. Justice done. Picked up by McCarthy. Thank goodness.
Yeah, justice done, but we shouldn't even be talking about that. That was a plain back pass. We both saw it. It baffles me sometimes, the decisions.
I do not understand that. And also, what's the referee's assistant doing? Okay, maybe the ref needs a bit of help. Not that he should with that, because it was absolutely blatant. But there's another person running that line who surely should assist as well. Anyway, inexplicably not spotted. Gini Wijnaldum just overplays and gives it away. Here comes Southampton again. Ings finds Gineppo, who's been so lively so far, the number 12. Was he brought down by Fabinho? Possibly so. Again, referee well placed. He decides not. Boos from the Southampton fans away to our right. And Liverpool get the decision and counter-attack. But Bobby Firmino is dispossessed. It's end-to-end as Ings slides in. Does well, Danny Ings, to dispossess Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Here's Gineppo once more. Poor pass this time. Undersells Ings. Fabinho intercepts. And Liverpool get it back. It's all happening all of a sudden, Liam Lawrence.
It is, but it's because Kevin Friend is having an absolute nightmare. That's why it's all happening. These things should be nipped in the bud straight away. Southampton should have had a foul 25 yards out from goal there. Gineppo was brought down. No foul given.
We've played 12 and a half minutes. It's Liverpool 0, Southampton 0 on Premier League Live. Alisson has got Danny Ings trying to close down some time and space and pressurise him, but the Brazilian goalkeeper happy to still calmly smack it downfield. It's picked up by Jordan Henderson, who's showing no ill effects of that ankle injury, having been floored by Jan Bednarek a few minutes ago. That's a plus for the Reds, isn't it? Their skipper appears nice and mobile.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been absolutely brilliant this year. So good, such a good leader, Russ, as well.
One ball over the top by Saints again. Certainly can't take your eye off this game. That one's overhit. It's back to Alisson. First goal elsewhere has come at Vicarage Road.
From the home fans, he's picked out Delafeu, who picks out Messina inside the penalty area. And he picks out the far corner. And Watford have the opening goal. It's a really well-worked move, one side to the other. And Adam Messina, the fullback, getting forward.
Everton's woes compounded. Watford with another lead under their brilliant manager, 1-0. Ian Abrahams, your commentator there. Fair play to good old Mr. Pearson.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, hasn't he? Really turned them around, give them a chance, give them a real chance. If they win today, they can get out of it.
1-0. Ian maybe not the happiest. I mentioned he supports one of those two teams. Maybe you can just guess from that commentary which one it is. Udo Mubarak has tweeted in saying he thinks that Liverpool will take this by 3-0. Signing it off as from Sammy and the Wise Men. I appreciate that, my friend. Well, 14 gone, 0-0 so far. The Reds might need to get their skates on at some stage. Southampton have got it back through Long, as we mentioned, industrious and getting stuck in. And in the end, Southampton win the free kick. Henderson steams in, takes out Gineppo, and the ironic jeers from the Southampton fans. Finally, they've got a decision going their way. It's taken the best part of a quarter of an hour.
It's mad because the decision given there wasn't. The other one before it 2 minutes ago was more clear cut. But it's refreshing to see a team, especially Southampton, going to Anfield and playing like a 4 up top and pressing Liverpool and getting at them.
Now, free kick in a fairly promising position, which Ward-Prowse will take. It's about 35 yards out. It's a bending delivery. It's a good one. Shane Long gets up there and beats the Liverpool defence, tries to find Bednarek. I don't think he could quite keep it in play. He couldn't. It trickles out for a goal kick. I don't think Long could believe how much space he initially had.
No, I mean, he's 17, 18 yards out in the middle of the box anyway. It would have been a difficult ask for a header, but
maybe did he have time to bring it down?
I think it was too high for him.
Right.
I think he just tried to get any sort of contact with his head he could.
A bit lower. If he could have chested that down, he'd have had every chance to bear down on goal, because for whatever reason, Liverpool's defence was caught napping, wasn't it? Here's Virgil van Dijk, one of those many players up against their old club today. Of course, left Southampton in fairly unceremonious surroundings, shall we say, when he effectively went on strike and refused to play to engineer and force this move through. Everyone knew that he had class and the potential to grow and expand. I don't think anyone realised quite how much there was still in this boy's locker.
I didn't, and I mean, this is where he belongs. You know, all due respect to Southampton, he belongs on the biggest stage in the world. He is, as I said, I think he's probably one of the best defenders I've seen in the last 20 odd years.
And he's had a decent start to this game so far as well. James Ward-Prowse tried to keep the ball in play there and couldn't quite do so, but for me he's done pretty well as the makeshift right back so far. Player who's worked on his defensive qualities over the years, has been in and around a couple of England squads, the Southampton playmaker. And under Hasenhüttl, he's been working hard, hasn't he, at being a bit more defensive and having a bit more bite to his game. We'll come back to that in a second, because here's Alexander-Arnold, early cross, and in the end it hits the roof of the net from Trent Alexander-Arnold, wrapped his foot around it as the youngster can. It's a really nice delivery, and in the end, over McCarthy's crossbar just, and out for a goal kick.
I love to watch him, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He literally just gets it out his feet. It's like a throwback to David Beckham, isn't he? Just no messing about, doesn't have to beat people, whips crosses in for fun.
It's whipping, it's dipping, it's doing absolutely everything.
Yeah, and it nearly catches the keeper out at the back post.
A midfielder at some point for you, or do you think Stayer's potentially a guy who could be one of the world's best ever fullbacks, or do you think he looks at using his obvious ability further up and further in field as he gets older?
I think he's the modern day fullback, isn't he? I think he's that good going forward. If he improves defensively, you could be talking about world class. You could be talking about one of the best right backs we've seen over the last 20, 30 years.
Maybe when he's a lot older, perhaps we do a James Milner, when maybe, I don't know, some early 30s perhaps, and look at playing elsewhere when his legs are going. But I take your point, and I agree. I think keep him where he is and let him grow and grow. What a pair of fullbacks Liverpool have. Two of the best anywhere on this near flank. It's the other one, the Scotland international captain Andy Robertson. If he improves, I say, was slightly lacking support further forward on this rare occasion, and he's forced to check back. Joe Gomez to Alexander-Arnold again as Liverpool stretch play beautifully. Henderson's first time delivery, headed clear. It was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, the skipper of Southampton, who got stuck in and made the interception that time of the day. And it's a good job he did, because Liverpool were starting to queue up and they had serious numbers committed forward. 18 played, still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0, as the Reds, remember, bid to go. 22 points clear atop the Premier League. They've not had it all their own way so far. They've probably carved out the best couple of half chances so far. Not really had a meaningful shot on goal in the game of yet, interestingly, have we?
No, but it's been a really entertaining 18 minutes, bizarrely, hasn't it? I mean, Southampton started really well for 6 minutes. Now I just feel as though the last 5 minutes Liverpool have started to turn the screw.
Ball over the top, and again Ward-Prowse in that unnatural position does pretty well. The clearance was slightly hasty and hurried, which is why we've had a couple of jeers from Liverpool fans in this near side corner. Robertson takes the throw quickly to Fabinho, back to Van Dijk, and they've lost a bit of ground, but they're happy to hold on to the ball. They struggled to hold on to it though. The ball from Firmino to Salah was poor. Danny Ings it was, getting stuck in. He tackled, but again there is no free kick. The referee was well placed, Kevin Friend. The play goes on. We stay at 0-0, ticking toward 20 minutes. Applause for Liverpool again, just calmly holding on to the ball and having to stroke it around and try and create another opening, another outlet. All over the top, this could be the outlet. Oh, potential handball from Salah there. Goal from Mohamed Salah. No, it's just wide. And for me, I don't think it would have stood anyway because of the handball in the build-up. It took a deflection and fizzed in the end just wide of target, hit the advertising hoarding and then ended up behind the goal.
Oh, what a pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He cuts inside on his left foot from, just over the halfway line, pings a 40-yard ball. Oxlade-Chamberlain in the box, chests it down. Mahala runs across him. I thought it was handball, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
They would have gone back for VAR for the handball for sure.
I think so.
Had it gone in. But as it was just wide. Hit the advertising hoarding, as we say, just settled behind Alex McCarthy's goal. Now Højbjerg, to add to your point, has gone across saying there was a handball. Check it regardless of the fact it wasn't a goal to stop the corner.
They should be.
But the corner stands. I agree. There was definitely one handball. There was arguably a second from Oxlade-Chamberlain under pressure as he chested the ball down. Anyway, Alexander-Arnold with the in-swinging delivery. And guess who's back helping out? It's the top scorer. It's Danny Ings, who heads it behind at the expense of another Liverpool corner.
Yeah, they're going to have to put a shift in today, Ings and Long. They've got to keep doing this defensive work.
What will Alexander-Arnold do this time? That was a shortish in-swinger. Salah's there for the outlet as a short corner. It's another vicious whipping delivery. And at the second time of asking Southampton somehow hack it to safety. First clearance was botched. The second from Shane Long at least got it halfway back downfield. Liverpool then win it back. Alexander-Arnold tries to find his skipper Henderson. We've not mentioned Nathan Redmond much in the game so far, but Redmond stuck in a boot and at least stopped the Liverpool attack. But they're coming in waves now, the Reds. It's their throw. Henderson up against Redmond. Redmond does well, finds Ings. Danny Ings just caught. Henderson the guilty party. And Southampton get a free kick midway inside their own half. And a proper chance now, Liam, to clear their lines and have a bit of a breather.
They need to, because Liverpool are, like I said, they're just starting to keep the ball. They're starting to move Southampton all over, and they're going to get very tired very quickly if it continues like this. So when they do turn the ball over like now, and they've got a bit of possession, take a breather, take your time, slow the game down.
At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Brent Parker gets in touch with us every game that we do from his cafe in Montana in the USA. Says, morning boys, I'm counting on Liverpool dispatching Southampton so that my Arsenal can move past them in the table tomorrow with a win at Burnley. Loving my Premier League Saturday with the best commentators on the planet. We appreciate that, break, and his latest picture is of a nice little salad he's been doing up in his cafe. Very, very good. Very healthy today, Brent. I'm impressed. I'm sure your customers will enjoy that as you all listen in your cafe to our commentary. We appreciate you every week being with us, and the same for everybody else around the world as well. We love bringing you the global league, the world's best league, the Premier League. It's an absolute privilege of which we never tire. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. The Saints smack it downfield through Alex McCarthy, trying to find Ryan Bertrand, the left back, but Bertrand, kind of a left wing back today, just couldn't quite get there.
No, he's pushed up quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Well, lovely ball through. Here's Danny Ings. Ings thinks about the shot and almost not greedy enough, too unselfish. He tried to hook it back to Redmond, played it behind him. I think for me, even though it would have been an acute angle, Danny Ings should have pulled the trigger. Southampton committed men forward for the attack. They're now caught at the back. Liverpool counter-attack. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Firmino to Henderson. Excellent block in the end. Charging in was Højbjerg, the skipper, to put his body on the line. Gineppo then slides in. Did he handle it as he slid in? Referee was well placed and said no. Boos ring out. Southampton bring it clear. And again, a very eventful passage of play.
It's end to end, isn't it? It's brilliant to watch. I know there's not been any goals yet, but I can assure the viewers, the listeners, there will be.
You almost need viewers in one sense, because we're trying to bring everything to you. But it's one of these games when the teams attack, they do it with such drive, such purpose, such pace, that the kind of complexion of the game can change in a heartbeat, but then do exactly the same on the flip side the other way.
They've got such quick players, both teams. On the turnover of the ball, they can both hurt each other quickly.
Very interesting game. We're beyond the midway point of the first half, and it's still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Remember, only once all season in the league have Liverpool not won a game. That was a draw against Manchester United. Beyond that, they have won 23 of 24. Looking for their first goal as Alexander-Arnold on the overlap, whipped it in. Excellent defending again from Højbjerg, who got back and just stopped Bobby Firmino getting his shot in.
Brilliant again from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's like a Rolls Royce, isn't he? He just gets up and down.
Early corner and a quick shot from Mo Salah. It was taken quickly, nearly bamboozled Southampton. But Salah's shot, they're looking for 6 in 6 against this opposition. Cannons back, and here come Liverpool again, near side. Oh, it's just overplayed from Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Robertson reacted quickly and did well to keep the ball in play on the overlap. Back with the Ox against his former team, don't forget, via his spell in between at Arsenal. Liverpool again just pushed back as Southampton press, but they're calm. They're happy to just stroke the ball around and reset and try and engineer another opening. And that patience is important still, isn't it? Because we've still only played 25 minutes. This is not the end of the world by any means.
No, not at all. I mean, Liverpool, we spoke about it earlier, they're still getting going, but now they're just finding their feet. They're keeping the ball. Southampton can't really get any foothold in the game, can they? They're waiting for a turnover and a counter-attack.
Shane Long has just hacked down his man. And Liverpool do get a free kick, and they go from left to right. Fabinho as far as Gigi Wijnaldum, and Wijnaldum engineers a shot on target at last. As he turned, he couldn't get much pace or much power into it, and it was saved low to his life in the end by Alex McCarthy.
Yeah, he couldn't really quite get it out his feet, could he? Wijnaldum there in the box, it was right under his feet. He tries to get a shot off, but the defender puts him off, and it goes into McCarthy's hands.
It's something now. It's a shot on target from Liverpool and from Gigi Wijnaldum. if he could just have had probably another half an inch of space, enough to get a proper shot in, then that could definitely have been a goal. It was not a bad opening.
No, because if he'd managed to get a better touch on it, get it out his feet, he had a free shot on goal.
Not quite meant to be in the end, and we stay at 0-0 as we tick toward 26 minutes here on Premier League Live. Just to bring you bang up to date elsewhere, one goal as we mentioned at Vicarage Road, where it's Watford 1, Everton 0. Goalless in all the other games so far. Bournemouth and Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and Sheffield United, Newcastle and Norwich, West Ham and Brighton, earlier Leicester 2, Chelsea 2, and at 5:30 commentary of Man United versus Wolves. So surprisingly perhaps 0-0 here as Gineppo tries to craft and bend a little ball through to Shane Long. And Virgil van Dijk, who else cleverly just plays Long a couple of inches offside. And again, Liverpool, not a team to dilly and dally. They take the free kick very quickly. Gomez to Fabinho, looking for Salah. On the far side, solid defending from Ryan Bertrand. 30 years old now, Bertrand. And he's someone who's got good experience, and he showed it there, didn't he? He managed that situation quite nicely. We'll come back to that in a second. End-to-end yet again. Ball over the top from Bertrand to Long. Oh, fantastic effort from Southampton. By far the best shot of the game so far. And it came from Moussa Gineppo. Almost caught Alisson napping. Alisson in the end palms it behind for a corner. Excellent work.
Brilliant, fantastic. I mean, the ball from Bertrand we were just talking about, it's fantastic. It's a 50-yard pass into Gineppo. He takes a touch inside. He's centre of the goal about 25 yards out, blasts it with his left foot, and it's a good save by Alisson. Absolute rocket of a shot from Moussa Gineppo. 2 goals this season, not far away from a third, and Alisson, having had little to do in the game, that's the test, isn't it? You've got to pull it out, and he just about did, but I think even he was taken a bit by surprise. Yeah, it was moving. That was the problem for Alisson, it was moving. So, Southampton corner. Taken by their skipper Højbjerg, who's had a lot to do in this game so far. Was he offside for the return ball? Eventually the answer is yes. It was a late flag, and that's going to really frustrate Ralph Hasenhüttl. Cleverly worked move in theory, but they couldn't actually bring it to fruition, could they? No, you work on things in training all week, and then that happens, you go and get an offside from a corner. It's poor play. And we're just having a look on the big screen at the replay from a few minutes ago, and Ings bore down on goal. I wonder whether he should have shot. It was a tight, narrow angle. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but that ball to Redmond was never going to get to its target, was it? No, he should have shot. He should have shot. I know it's a bit of an acute angle on his left foot, but you're at Anfield, you don't get many chances like that in the box. Particularly, as we mentioned, when it is your former team as well. 14 goals in 19 Premier League games so far this season for Danny Ings. It's an incredible return. In all competitions he has scored, 16 goals, exactly the same as Mo Salah, who are the two respective top scorers for the two teams on the field. And that was a wonderful chance to pull the trigger. He didn't take it, he was selfless, and on that one occasion it maybe cost Southampton. Liverpool are back in possession now, bang on halfway through. Robertson to Firmino, who with 3 players around him manages to win the ball back off Ward-Prowse. Early delivery from Robertson, possibly a bit too early. Wijnaldum couldn't get there, but it's out for another Liverpool throw just beneath our vantage point. You just can't help but wonder if they're missing Mane on this left, because they're getting a lot of play down the left but not much joy, are they? Yeah, Robertson often, as we alluded to, has been a bit isolated, because Oxlade-Chamberlain, naturally it's not where he'd want to be, hugging this advanced left touchline, is it? Exactly, and he keeps cutting inside Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is what he's doing right now, but with a bit more decent effect there. He finds Salah, ball over the top to Firmino. It's slightly overhit, but Firmino gets there, keeps it in play and beats Ward. Back heel from Salah, left edge of the area, back to Firmino, thought about the shot, Henderson thinks about the shot, the Ox goes for the shot, takes a deflection, and an acrobatic tip over the bar from Alex McCarthy. Oxlade-Chamberlain again. Like this against a team of this quality. Alexander-Arnold's outswinging delivery from the far side, flicked on by Henderson, but Southampton's defence was well positioned there, and they've nodded it to relative safety. Salah's ball forward, maybe not that safe after all. Virgil van Dijk, save from McCarthy. Firmino, another save from McCarthy. Here's Salah again, twisting, turning, curling effort, hits the backside of Bendrick. It's back in play again, it's across the goal line, appeals for a penalty, waved away, and Southampton somehow live to fight another day. Shane Long, the man
man who possibly brought down Firmino, not given. Liverpool mightily close 3 times there.
Well, I think it could be a penalty there. I don't know if they're going to check that. Henderson stands it up, and the defender is all over Firmino. He clips his ankles.
That looks like a penalty to me. It's gone to VAR. You're spot on. Will this be a penalty? It's got to be. Firmino's on the goal line. Henderson's cross. Long. I'm not sure whether he slips or just rugby tackles him. I think it's the latter. It's not been given. It's not been given. What? You've got a bloke on the goal line to nod the ball in, and he's rugby tackled by his opposite number.
Firmino is just
that? I know the Six Nations is starting in rugby, but there's still no place for that.
Oh my word.
Shane Long should have been at the stadium in Dublin rather than this. This is ridiculous.
Well, he gets the wrong side.
So we're having a look at the whole replay here. So it's a shot from Van Dijk, then a shot from Firmino, then Salah gets involved. Then it's played wide, the cross is clipped in from Henderson, and it's at that point that Firmino is shoved by Shane Long on the goal line and can't therefore score. And at the other end, guess what? Here comes Southampton counter-attacking through Nathan Redmond. Shane Long won't get there. Van Dijk, though, intercepts, nicks it off his advancing goalkeeper, and Southampton do at least get a corner. Saints at the receiving end of some awful decisions earlier in the game. Boy, has that luck turned, because that has been by far the most important and the most controversial for me.
They've got away with one there, but I mean, that was nailed on for me. As soon as it happened, I thought, oh no, Long, he's clipped his heels, he's bundled him over. And looking at the replay, he has.
What argument is there not to give a penalty there? What possible reason? I can't think of one.
Russ, it's these people with VAR. We can sit here all day, can't we, talking about them? I don't get it.
Going to go at the London Stadium. We'll go there in a moment. Bertrand's corner is slightly overhit. All miscontrolled by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who gets away with it. There was nobody just there to try and pick it up for Southampton. In the end, Højbjerg tries to pick up the through ball from Ward-Prowse. The ball goes out of play. We'll take you to a goal in that West Ham-Brighton game then.
Dangerous free kick this on the half-an-hour mark for West Ham. Can they take the lead at home against Brighton? To left foot across in towards Diop, who gets there and guides it in at the near post. And West Ham take the lead on the half-an-hour mark. And it's Issa Diop.
Issa Diop with the goal, and potentially a priceless goal for West Ham, but that piles even more pressure on Brighton, whose poor form has gone a bit under the radar, hasn't it, of late? But they're in a bit of trouble. We'll come back to that in a second, because here comes Southampton through Danny Ings up against Robertson, who does so well. He's such a good defender. He's a proper left back, Andy Robertson, but he's forced to concede another corner.
He does brilliantly there, Robertson. Stands up well, he gets turned inside and out, but recovers. Ings looks lively, doesn't he?
He does. Just back to that Brighton point, as things stand with the projected table, if the games finish as they currently are, they'd drop into the bottom 3, and Watford would be out of the bottom 3, and so would West Ham. And Bournemouth would be back in.
It's crazy, isn't it, at the minute?
We'll come back to Brighton in a second, because it's been a tough old week, and I do want to highlight that in a second for the Seagulls. Now, James Ward-Prowse. Short delivery on. Moussa Shinepo tried to flick it on, and bless him, he got that horribly wrong, and it's out for a goal kick in one he will not want to see again. But he's played well so far, the youngster. We'll let him off for that. These things do happen. Of course, Graham Potter's father has passed away this week, the Brighton boss. Of course, he only lost his mum in the summer as well. Very tough times. Did the media conference effectively the day it happened. Really, really difficult times when you combine what's happening on the field of late with some personal tragedy as well.
It is, and I can't imagine what he's going through. I mean, the loss of both your parents in such a short space of time, and then you've got to go and manage a football club in the Premier League,
and one that's in trouble too.
One that's struggling.
Yeah. Very difficult times indeed. So Brighton a goal down at West Ham, as we mentioned. One other goal that's gone in so far is Watford leading Everton. Goalless Newcastle Norwich, goalless Crystal Palace Sheffield United and Bournemouth Villa. 2-2 earlier Leicester and Chelsea. Later commentary of Man United and Wolves. And here at Anfield, somehow it is still 0-0, 34.5 minutes played between leaders Liverpool and Southampton. Good play from Ings again. Finds Ward-Prowse. Redmond's in space. He's got Højbjerg on the other side. Goes himself, Nathan Redmond. Appeals for a corner. Thinks it got a tiny deflection. Regardless, just wide of Alisson's right-hand post. Maybe he should have used the man outside him.
I think he should have maybe gone on a little bit and then slipped the man outside of him in. I mean, he's 25 yards out. The guy to his left from into the penalty area there, he could have slipped him in.
Been a cracking game. Massive controversy. A back pass that wasn't spotted, a corner that shouldn't have been, and then the biggest one was a potential penalty going to VAR. and not given. Liverpool missing out there. Another Southampton corner. Their fourth of the game. It's a better one this time from Bertrand. Up there with Jack Stevens, who loves a goal from a set piece, believe you me. Couldn't quite get there, but Saints come again. Bertrand does brilliantly, finds Shane Long. The ball, though, just clips his upper arm area. And this time it is spotted, and this time it is a free kick to Liverpool. And that's one of the correct decisions for a while. We haven't seen many so far, have we?
No. Kevin Friend's not got many right today, has he?
He's got that one. Honest. And there's now a little bit of afters. Bertrand and Henderson have just had a tiny tussle. They've said something, and the referee's just gone over and calmed the pair down. They pat each other on the head and we move on. But in danger of bubbling over slightly there.
Yeah, I think it means so much to both teams, and it's been such a good game. It really has. You know, the listeners listening, we're not just saying it. It has been a tremendous game.
And also, if it's a game where you're not confident in the officials and you're frustrated, can that lead to a bit of needle on the field as well?
It really does, Russ, yeah. If the officials are not getting things right, things spill over.
Great ball over the top. Liverpool back on the attack through Robertson. Ward-Prowse scurries back, but Robertson finds Oxlade-Chamberlain, turns, and he's upended by Oriol Romeu, the Spaniard, clipping the England international's heels. And this is a free kick to Liverpool in a really attacking area. It's right on the edge of the penalty area, just offset to the left-hand side. This is prime territory, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, who's going to fancy this one? Will it be Firmino? Will it be Oxlade-Chamberlain? Will Salah even try and whip it round or over the wall? Could be Trent Alexander-Arnold, to be honest, Russ. He's the one that...
Embarrassment of riches in terms of options.
It is, isn't it?
There are 4 Liverpool players standing around the ball, and one of them isn't even Robertson. It's Henderson, Salah, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Alexander-Arnold. The Ox now walks away. We've got 3 potential set-piece takers here. I wonder if it might be, as you say, Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
A shot as well. Yeah. There's no point in clipping this one across, surely. You have a pop. And there are 2 men from Liverpool in the wall as well, just to make things a little bit more difficult. Fernaldum and Fabinho have both got involved, just to make things a bit more obscure and a bit tougher for Southampton to defend. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Fortune Albert, listening from Abuja in Nigeria. I can say that Liverpool, my friends, are champions elect. My only disappointment is that Arsenal's invincible record will be matched. So he's saying that Liverpool will be the Invincibles like Arsenal were all those years ago. And of course, they would probably draw a lot less games as well. Wow, it was a wonderful achievement in 04, and the Reds match it. A goal here would be very handy with that goal in mind. Alexander-Arnold takes it! Just wide of target. I think it took a nick as it went through. Powerful shot from the youngster, but wide of goal.
Yeah, he just nicks the wall. It looks like it's going in from the replay.
It's Bednarek, isn't it? The big Pole who uses every inch of his 6'4" frame to head that one behind. Probably stung a bit as well, I would have thought. Ow. 38 gone. Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. It's another Reds corner. I make that their 7th of the game already. Opposition have had 5.
It's not even in the D.
Ball technically isn't in the D. I agree. It's not been spotted though. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Shows Alexander-Arnold, I beg your pardon, who whipped it in. And Southampton get it half clear, but again it's miscontrolled. Ward-Prowse tries to play out of defence and overplays. He's left a gaping gap now at right back. In swinging delivery from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and in the end the player is sent flying. It's Bertrand, and Liverpool don't manage to get the job done. Southampton get the free kick.
I will say as well, Russ, Southampton have defended so well today. Every ball in the box, they've dealt with near enough.
Put his body on the line there, didn't he?
Bertrand has been fantastic following Salah's inside runs. Ings and Long have been coming back to help defensively. They've been brilliant.
It has worked out well so far from Southampton. They've had it spot on tactically. They've ridden their luck with the penalty, no question. That aside, very impressive. Now, there's been a goal in that big potential relegation battle between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. I'll tell you which way that one's gone and cross over to the Vitality in a second. We'll see what happens here. Well, Firmino with a suicidal back pass. All bearing down is Danny Ings. Oh, and somehow Danny Ings does not bury a gilt-edged opportunity. Long was running across him. Van Dijk was hurrying back. Alisson was there as well. And somehow Ings' goal-bound shot took a ricochet and didn't end up in the back of the net. Awful play from Firmino. At the other end, here come Liverpool. Wijnaldum. Oh, terrible ball from Wijnaldum trying to find Firmino, the man who'd just given the ball away. That was a 2-on-2. Awful gap at one end for Liverpool and their chance to score after they'd given it away and handed it on a plate to Southampton. 2 missed chances within seconds.
Well, I thought Ings was going to break the deadlock there. And he cuts inside beautifully. He's about 8 yards out on the right-hand side, isn't he, inside the box. He hits it with his left, but I think it hits an ankle of the Liverpool player running back.
That
Such
could
a
have
good
gone
chance.
Anywhere. Long running across, as we mentioned, we've got defenders, keeper, opposing strikers, and Ings just couldn't quite thread it through. He's so good in those predatory situations on the whole. Just fluffed his line slightly there. Ball over the top from Liverpool, overhit, out of play. And McCarthy claims. Let's go to the Vitality.
Good delivery into the box. It's bouncing around. It could have gone anywhere. No takers. Comes all the way through to Francis on the right-hand side, down by the corner flag. Can he get the cross in? He can. Wilson's in there. Ake's in there. Billings in there. And Bournemouth leads.
Bournemouth lead, and here at Anfield, a great chance during that cross to the south coast for Liverpool. Shane Long managed to beat the defence. Van Dijk's clearance, poor header from Gomez. Long shot on target, saved by Alisson from 25 yards?
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the corners, he gets that much power on it, Long. It would really trouble Alisson now.
I agree. 2 yards either side of Alisson, and that is a goal. And for once, the Gomez-Van Dijk combination looked a bit rickety, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting left 2v2. I think that's the plan for Southampton. If they can get Long and Ings 2v2, they've got half a chance.
Had 14 shots in the game already, of which 6 have been on target. 8-6 in favour of Liverpool in terms of shots, and 4-2 in their favour in terms of efforts on goal. This has been absolutely fascinating, believe you me, as we tick toward 42 minutes, but it is still 0-0. And Southampton, in their game plan, it's just about hanging on and hanging in place. Samuel Irere Masaba thinks that Liverpool will still take this game 3-0 eventually. Frank Ousmane Precious saying 2-0 is his view, and it's given away again. Here comes Southampton once more. Højbjerg, the skipper, snatched at it. Ings was screaming for it. He didn't play it in field. The Dane had a pop, and it was saved low to his left by goalkeeper Alisson.
Oxlade-Chamberlain gets caught in possession 40 yards out on the right-hand side. Højbjerg takes it, he gets into the box on the right-hand side.
And at the other end, what can Liverpool manufacture? Ball over the top to Henderson, and Ward-Prowse, as the right back today, comes scurrying across all the way to the far left and nicks it away from the England midfielder and out for a throw.
I can't keep up, it's
bonkers.
I can't tell what's going on.
Absolutely bonkers.
There's another attack literally 2 seconds later.
No goals, but it's the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at its very best, and we're loving bringing it to you here on Premier League Live. 42 gone, still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Back to that Højbjerg opportunity. Ings was screaming for it, but to be fair, there were 2 Liverpool players kind of blocking the pass, so I'm not sure passing was the right call. I think he probably did do the right thing. He just didn't finish the chance well enough, did he?
The pass wasn't on, and as he gets into the Liverpool box on the right hand side, about 18 yards out, he snaps at the shot. Rather than take another touch and commit somebody, he snaps at the shot. He could have took another touch.
Well, Højbjerg is largely a defensive minded player. He hasn't scored this season, and I guess it showed there. Ings flicks one on as far as Nathan Redmond from the edge of the box. Snapshot from the England midfielder over the bar. Ings linked up nicely with him there, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he finds himself in space. Redmond on the edge of the box. He should hit the target. He's only 18 yards out there.
Do you know what? We're going back to the replay on the big screen of the chance earlier for Danny Ings, the one where the ball was given away by Firmino. It's actually his own player, Shane Long, who he hits with the shot. I mentioned that Long was involved, so it's blocked, not by either Liverpool defender or by Alisson. It's actually blocked by the heels of his own strike partner.
It's strange because Longy runs across him to make space for Ings to come in on his left, and as he does that, Ings cuts the shot back and it hits Longy's heels. It's going in as well, by the way.
I bet Klaus Feldham's not happy. He's just sent us a tweet in his full Liverpool garb. He's got the Liverpool hat on, the scarf on. He says, it's cold in Atlanta. As I listen to you boys, you'll never walk alone. My Premier League morning. Oh, it's given away again. Here's Ings. Wonderful block from Alisson. What are Liverpool doing at the back? Mistakes left, right and centre. They're trying to hand this one on a plate to Southampton. And again, Saints can't take advantage. Ings tries to pull the trigger. Alisson comes out and makes an excellent block, eventually at the expense of another corner.
Well, Liverpool are making their own mistakes. They're inviting Southampton on, inviting pressure, making mistakes. And Southampton are pressing the life out of Liverpool.
But another goal at Watford will go there in a second. But Liverpool looking very uncertain at the back. Whether it's the fact that Gomez is in alongside Van Dijk, I'm not entirely sure. Whether it's fatigue, whether it is a bit of complacency that Klopp has always warned against, who knows? But they're not right at the back at the moment. Ward-Prowse's delivery, header from Ings. It's deflected and behind for another corner, and Danny Ings immediately giving the thumbs up to Ward-Prowse. That was a quality corner.
Great corner in. Beats the first man right at the near post, and Ings, he's a whisker away there.
We've only got one additional minute, by the way, as well, and we are into it already, so not long to go. Stellenbaum reckons that Saints will win this one 3-2. Who knows? Ward-Prowse's deeper delivery this time, looking for the head of Oriol Romeu. He couldn't quite get there. Redmond brings it down. Chance for one more cross, pumped in. Ward-Prowse is unmarked. Robertson comes running across. Can Ward-Prowse get there? He can. In the end, Gomez gets it half clear, but again, not the most convincing of clearances. Oxlade-Chamberlain loses out to Redmond. Ball flicked on by Ward-Prowse, trying to find Shane Long. Deflects off a Liverpool player. Southampton with a few seconds to go. One more chance maybe in this half, Liam.
Yeah, throw in down on the right-hand side here. 18 yards out.
There have been goals at Watford and at Bournemouth. We'll take you to both of those in a couple of moments' time, but we'll stay here for now for the final few seconds, and one more potential Southampton opportunity. Ward-Prowse beats Wijnaldum, can't beat Robertson. Good play from the Scot, and that is the end of the first half. Huge controversy with a penalty turned down by VAR for Liverpool. Southampton with a glorious chance for Ings against his old club, which ended up clipping the heels of his own strike partner Long and being cleared. That's just two of a multitude of opportunities and controversies during this half here on Premier League Live. At the break, though, it is Liverpool 0, Southampton 0, as we take you to all of these goals. There are three now flying in elsewhere. First of all, to Vicarage Road.
Might be in trouble here, though, Everton. They've given the ball away. And Roberto Pereira, well, he's got his revenge now, because he's put Watford 2-0 up. So careless in possession by Everton. They give it away. One pass into Pereira, and Watford double their advantage.
Well, Ian Williams, your commentator there. Watford 2, Everton 0, ticking toward the break. Another goal, as we mentioned, in the Bournemouth-Villa game as well.
Free kick, very dangerous. It's Wilson, straight into the wall, shouts of handball, comes back to Fraser, who drives it, it's spilt, and it's been turned in by Nathan Ake, and Bournemouth lead by 2-0.
Pressure back on Aston Villa, Bournemouth leading that 2-0. Thank you to Barry Swain, and another goal in the West Ham-Brighton game. Which one has this one gone?
Down the right channel, finds Fredericks on the overlap, dings it towards the back post for Hilaire, looking for Antonio. Will it break even? Snodgrass with the volley, deflected and in! Just before half-time, it's Robert Snodgrass who doubles West Ham's lead. A wonderful left-footed volley deflects and sends Matty Ryan the wrong way.
Well, thanks to Richard Wolfenden, 2-0 in that game. We'll round up all the half-time scores and what it means for the projected league table in a couple of moments' time. But here at Anfield in our feature game, at half-time, it's Liverpool 0, Southampton 0 on Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk, and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
TalkSport. Don't be like Alan Brazil. Never miss a day's output with the new updated TalkSport app. Is that right, Alan?
I'm absolutely knackered.
Download the app at TalkSport.com. This is what real sport sounds like.
This Saturday is game day on TalkSport 2.
Your go-to destination for a full-service Premier League experience.
One day, so much football.
He shoots, he scores.
This Saturday is game day on TalkSport 2.
It is game on.
TalkSport.
Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk, and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, I'm Matt Target from Aston Villa. Hi, I'm Bournemouth centre-back Chris Mepham.
Hi, I'm Jan Vertongen. Listen to Game Day on TalkSport.
Game day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
TalkSport.
Get with the net, Grandad. Make space on your mobile for the TalkSport phone app, the channel-hopping, station-swapping gizmo that's taking the UK by storm. It's ear trumpet compatible. Download the TalkSport app now at TalkSport.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Southampton from Anfield. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, alongside me the former Stoke, Sunderland and Portsmouth winger Liam Lawrence. It's Premier League Live. We're goalless somehow at the break, and there have been two more unbelievable goals in the Watford-Everton game. It was 2-0 to the Hornets when we last updated you just a couple of minutes ago.
It'll be a left-footed in-swinger. Taking it from the near side. It's deep. It's towards Mina. And Everton, I think, have bundled it over the line, have they? There's an almighty scramble. And Yerry Mina looks like he got the final touch. And Everton do have something back. A lifeline right at the end of the first half from the set piece. Yerry Mina is the scorer. It's 2-1.
Okay, so that made it Watford 2, Everton 1. Ian Williams, the commentator. Moments later, this happened.
Have we got time for the corner? Well, imagine if Everton could grab another one from another set piece. It'll be absolutely remarkable. Would be very much akin to a reverse of the 2 goals they conceded to Newcastle. This time it's Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's going to be another in-swinger, therefore. It's from the opposite side this time. Sigurdsson, in it goes. Mina is there! And Yerry Mina has scored again! I do not believe it! 2 goals in a matter of just over 2 minutes for big Yerry Mina, and somehow Everton have turned this game around right on the stroke of half time.
Ian Williams very excited, I've got to say, with that one. 2-2. What a match so far.
So you didn't see that one coming, did you? It looked like it was dead and buried. I mean, last seconds of stoppage time to get back to 2-2, that'll give them massive confidence.
So as we stand, Bournemouth beating Villa 2-0. Villa with about a 10-minute decent spell, and apart from that, by all accounts, very poor. And Bournemouth, fair play to them. Goalless Palace and Sheffield United. Our game, as you know, goalless, as is Newcastle Norwich. So the Canaries may be on track for a point, but they would stay rock bottom regardless. Watford 2, Everton 2, and West Ham 2, Brighton 0, plus the Bournemouth scoreline. Makes the bottom of the table look very different all of a sudden, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you see Villa slipping in there. Brighton are on the same points as Villa, just above it.
So this is projected if the scores finish as they are, and it would mean, as things are currently going, West Ham and Bournemouth would both be climbing up, Brighton and Villa being sucked back in.
Yeah.
So close to call this, isn't it? It's absolutely fascinating.
All the way up to 15th, where West Ham are, as you say, is the projected. If it finishes how it is, there's 1 and 2 points in it. Anyone can get dragged in.
At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Colin Buzz has sent us a beautiful picture of Montana. Our other Montana listener, of course, sends us the dinner from his cafe. This one always sends wonderful scenes, and it's a gorgeous snowy landscape, isn't it, with a road going into the distance, one solitary tree, and then just a gorgeous sunrise as well.
That is beautiful.
Love to be there. So I'm very happy I'm here, believe you me, privileged to be at Anfield. If not, a snowy morning in Montana would have suited me absolutely fine. Kingsley says, I see a drawn match today. My darling champions elect Liverpool. Quality commentary from you boys listening via Nigeria FM in Port Harcourt in Nigeria. So Kingsley say maybe it will finish as a draw, and I can understand why he said that.
I can, yeah, because so far there's been that many chances and sort of half chances, decisions not given, penalties not given, that you just think, is it nailed on that it's going to be a 0-0, even though it's a fantastic game, but I can't see it ending 0-0.
Quincy Lewan, on that point that we raised earlier from another listener about trying to match Arsenal's Invincibles, he says, loving the commentary, boys.
Really well. It's the 6th time since March that we play against them, 4th time this season, so I don't think there'll be too many surprises from either coach, or there might be, you never know. And for me, the fans have been backing us, and I'm sure they'll back the team again, and they're important for us, and this is an important game for us.
A tough game. Going to Old Trafford is always difficult, and you're going to face a very good opponent, but we are ready, knowing that we have to compete well.
He's a goal-scoring and assisting midfielder, a little bit like Paul Scholes. He can strike a ball fantastically. He's got such a wonderful technique. But he also plays, he's going to get assists from set plays and his passes, his range of passes, so similar type to Scholes, fiery as well, hates losing, same number on the back of his shirt.
I think he can give us good options. He's a solution. He fits in the profile that we think that we should do in this transfer window, bring players that can help us and make us stronger as a team. He's a good player. I think he fits in our idea of the game.
Nuno Espirito Santo. Before that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Dave Gitson, Tom Rennie, a commentary team at 5:30 UK for Man United against Wolves. And the two bosses mentioning their signings on deadline day there. Bruno Fernandes, big money to United, Portuguese midfielder from Sporting Lisbon. And Nuno mentioning Daniel Podence, the attacking midfielder, into Molineux from Olympiacos. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think they're both going to be good signings. Yeah, I think the Hernandez one, the Man United one, is going to be for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to compare him to Paul Scholes is a huge thing, isn't it? I mean, there's only been one ever Paul Scholes. He was a phenomenal player, but we'll see. I mean, the Premier League's a whole different kettle of fish to the Portuguese and to the Greek League, isn't it? So time will tell.
It will. And in terms of that game, we look forward to it. Two teams near the top of the standings, or at least in and around that top 6, should be an absolute cracker. Second half of our featured game up next, though, Liverpool and Southampton on Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport. The cornerstone of any nutritious sports breakfast.
A morning delivery of big names and essential game talk, discreetly wrapped and violently lobbed over the fence onto your radio. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
100% pure Scotch beef.
Monday morning from 6
on TalkSport.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. One day, so much football.
I'm Sean Longstaff, Newcastle United midfielder.
Hello everyone, this is Juan Mata.
Hello, Harry Redknapp here. Every Saturday, TalkSport and wall-to-wall Premier League. It's the only place to get free live games on radio.
Game day.
He has done it!
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the Double O Duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Listening to Talk Sports coverage of Liverpool against Southampton from Anfield. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former Stoke City, Sunderland, Portsmouth and Republic of Ireland winger Liam Lawrence. And this is Premier League Live. We await the players to come out for the second half. The groundsmen and groundswomen busy trying to put a few bits of turf, a few kind of clods, a few divots back in place, because we did mention it was cutting up a fair bit, didn't we?
We did, yeah. It seems to have played all right, to be fair, throughout that first half.
It's been end to end, so
it certainly has, and I've not seen many bobbles, so the pitch is holding out.
Just doing a little bit of work to make it even more playable as we await the players back out in a second. Remember, at TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Stanley Akibi thinks that Southampton will nick this in the end by 1-0. Kingston reckons it'll finish 0-0. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in there. Changame King still confident that Liverpool will take this by 2-0. You were saying to me off air a second ago, you think maybe 2-1 still to the Reds?
I think so, because I think Liverpool have been sloppy at times at the back, and they've allowed Southampton to get on top of them and get chances on goal. I do think there's a goal in Southampton, but I just think if Liverpool need to go up an extra gear, they'll go up an extra gear and get the job done.
And a shout out to Dan at Loney, who's busy running errands, he says, stateside while listening to us. So happy to keep you busy while you get a few bits of admin and one or two bits and bobs out the way. My friend, wherever you're listening around the world, what you're up to, let us know at TalkSport Live, your thoughts on this game, on what Liverpool can still do from here for the rest of the season, and on Southampton's pretty miraculous bounce back to form in recent months as well. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in as we prepare for the second half. It's goalless between Liverpool and Southampton. The Reds now kicking from left to right in the second half in their traditional all red, of course, as the home team with a tiny little bit of white trim and white numbers. Southampton, we should say, in their change kit, which is a grey shirt with yellow sleeves and yellow shorts and yellow socks. Ralph Hasenhüttl saying about their lucky yellow shorts, he was saying in his pre-match media conference, because their away form in the league is brilliant of late, and it's down to these shorts apparently.
Oh, well, obviously it's all about the shorts then, isn't it?
Have you got any lucky yellow shorts at home, or lucky clothes?
Boxer shorts maybe.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah, to be fair, they're trying to make it 5 Premier League games in a row unbeaten away from home, and that's a run they've never managed in a single season. They've done it across 2, so they're trying to match that. Southampton, I mentioned, just 1 defeat in 9 in all comps, 1 in 7 in the Premier League. It's been a very, very good run. Not as good as Liverpool's, clearly, and they're in possession and smacking it forward. Alexander-Arnold with a great ball looking for Salah, and solid defending in the end. It was Bednarek who got back and made the block, but Salah picks it up, tries to take it around Bertrand, can't quite do so. Gineppo picks up the loose ball for Southampton, and can Saints counter-attack now through the pace of their former Liverpool man Danny Ings, who's up against Fabinho, who can't get close to him. Ings tries to pull the trigger. Oh, he slips. Is that a penalty? Was the contact, I wonder? Ings did appear to slip, but was there a tiny sliver of a touch, I wonder, from the Liverpool player? Again, nothing given. Ings is incensed. He's throwing his arms around in fury. No penalty.
My initial reaction is he's clipped.
We'll come back and have a look in a second, because guess what? Liverpool are now counter-attacking. It's kept in play. Robertson as far as Firmino to Oxlade-Chamberlain! And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain buries the ball into the back of the net. A penalty appeal at the other end. Moments later, Liverpool sweep downfield and they score the opening goal of the game. It's against his former club, and Oxlade-Chamberlain's incredible renaissance continues. It's his 7th of the season. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
Well, I won't take nothing away from the finish. It's absolutely sublime from Oxlade-Chamberlain, but there will be controversy surrounding this one. Danny Ings goes into the box. I think he's clipped by Fabinho in the box. It's a trailing leg, but Liverpool go on the attack the other end. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets it far left, 25 yards out, plays Robertson down the left. He cuts back, gives it to Fabinho. Oxlade-Chamberlain's on the left, cuts inside, 19 yards out, centre of the goal, smacks it into the near corner. Fantastic finish, hard and low. But I do think there's case for a penalty at the other end before that.
There's not a lot of contact. Ings is up against two players trying to engineer his way through, and you're right, there might be a little bit of a sliver of a touch. For me, though, as much as anything, he does slip as well. It's not like he's felled. He's kind of almost going down, and there's a bit of a contact as he's going down. It didn't feel as much of a penalty or even close to it as to the one that ironically VAR was asked about and didn't give in the first half in Liverpool's favour. That felt more of a penalty than that one to me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Is there going to be a second goal? Here come Liverpool again. Mohamed Salah up against Bednarek. Well done. The pole stuck out a big left leg, and the number 35 with an excellent tackle. The ball stays in play. Southampton need to deal with this. Salah putting pressure on Bednarek again, and it's out for a red throw. Liverpool react quickly there to not scoring their second, and at least they've got the hunger and the awareness to win a throw in an attacking position.
Well, that's what they're so good at. When it's turned over, they turn it over as quick as they can to get the ball back and retain possession.
Another goal at the London Stadium will take you there once the ball goes dead here. Bread's just pushed back. Virgil van Dijk as far as Robertson. Clever pass from him takes two Southampton players out of the game. Fabinho to his Brazilian counterpart Firmino. Robertson again with a beautiful sweeping raking cross. It's cut out on the far side by his fellow fullback Alexander-Arnold. Salah bends it in. Firmino can't quite get there. Alex McCarthy decided to come. Didn't quite claim it at the first time of asking, but still good keeping for me, because if he hadn't have come, Firmino would have had a clear header on goal. Yeah, the in-swinging cross from Salah, it was finding Firmino's head about 7 yards out centre of the goal, so McCarthy had to come, be strong and take it off him. 1-0 Liverpool as we approach 50 minutes. Ball out of play. Let's go to the West Ham Brighton game.
It's whipped in towards the near post. Oh, and it's deflected in. It's an own goal, and it's Angelo Ogbonna. A minute and a half into the second half, and it's an own goal by Angelo Ogbonna. He knew nothing about it as it flashed past Fabianski, and West Ham concede a free own goal. Brighton back in this 2-1 the score now.
Richard Wolfenden, your commentator, as that one tightens up. Here comes Southampton once more. Opportunity for Redmond. Oh my goodness, he shinned it. Really good work from Gineppo. Redmond arrived at the near post, got it horribly wrong, and it was such a bad shot. The ball stayed in play. Gineppo re-picked it up, deflected cross off Robertson, at least behind for a Southampton corner. What a chance for Redmond, who's normally a pretty clinical finisher.
He is. It was a difficult opportunity because it's coming out of the sky, it's coming from high. He tries to side foot volley it left of the, 14 yards out, left of the goal, and
shanks it,
hits his shin pad and goes backwards, funnily enough.
The worst of golfing shanks, that. We've all been there and had the odd one. That one definitely a hosel rocket, we can safely say, from Nathan Redmond. At least they do get the corner though. Southampton. Ward-Prowse, good delivery, looking for Ings. That one flashed across the edge of the 6-yard box. Alexander-Arnold miscontrols. It's picked up by Højbjerg. His effort blocked by, I think, Van Dijk. A plaintive and desperate appeal for a penalty maybe from the block. Not given. Whistle up for offside. And Liverpool managed to just about fight off the danger.
Yeah, you just can't help but think that Southampton are still in this game. You know, the set piece there from Ward-Prowse was fantastic. Great delivery on it. If it does find a Southampton head, they're back in the game.
Foul there from Shane Long, who sends Fabinho flying. It's a very obvious free kick. Long is frustrated. Of course, it was his heel that Ings' goal-bound shot in the first half hit, which stopped Southampton taking the lead in one of many controversial moments. On the ball over the top from Liverpool again. Can't take your eyes off this game for a second. He tries to burst clear. He's pushed wide. Bertram with the interception. And Liverpool win the throw, taken quickly by Salah. Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't necessarily expecting the ball, and in the end, as a result, his pass is between Fabinho and Firmino. And Southampton get it back. Got to be careful here. Jack Stevens slightly undersells his goalkeeper McCarthy with the back pass. Henderson was bearing down, but McCarthy, not always seen as perhaps the best of ball-playing goalkeepers, reacted quite well there, actually.
Yeah, he's been good with his feet today.
He has. It's not always been his strength, has it?
No, it hasn't. And today he's had some difficult back passes played to him, and he's cleared well. Van Dijk's just took one in the chin there from Shane Long's boots.
Shane Long is putting himself about a bit, as we predicted in this game. He's felled a fair few players, including Virgil van Dijk, who shakes himself down quickly and gets up to take the free kick that he himself won. To halfway, right beneath our vantage point here on Premier League Live. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Infield to Firmino, to Gini Wijnaldum. And now to Andy Robertson. Liverpool a goal up, 52 minutes played. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Just slightly taking the sting out of the game, as they can now afford to do a little bit now that they've got that advantage.
Yeah, they're doing what all top teams do. They've gone in front, they've got the goal that they wanted. Now they're just going to keep possession, work Southampton, move them about, tire them.
Ball forward from Wijnaldum to Robertson. Here's Firmino, who's hugging that far touchline. Southampton continuing to keep a decent shape and a decent structure and press Liverpool and hurry them in possession. Van Dijk, as ever though, so much time on the ball. Languid ball as far as Alexander-Arnold. He missed controls for once and can't find his skipper Henderson. And Liverpool win it back though through Alexander-Arnold, returning for that slight mistake. Oxlade-Chamberlain slides one through looking for Mo Salah. He couldn't quite get there. Tried to bisect keeper and right back, and in the end McCarthy prods it toward Prowse, and Salah can't quite get there. Over the top at the other end, here's Shane Long. Allison's out of his goal. Long needs to get the cross in quickly. There aren't enough now of the Southampton bodies up there. Shane Long made the most of a mistake between Alisson and Van Dijk, a rare one. He won the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Ings was up there, but there were not enough Southampton bodies to really capitalise. That's desperately frustrating. Liverpool counter-attack at the other end. My goodness, it's breathless again. Firmino through to Salah, bearing down on goal! Mo Salah scores! 6 from 6 against Southampton. Chalked off for an offside flag. He looks wistfully and woefully away to his right. Referee's assistant beneath us waves the flag, and I think he is marginally offside. A fair bit of his body isn't looking at the replay, but about, I'd say, a couple of inches at least of his body is, and it is being checked by VAR, but this one won't quite stand.
No, he's definitely offside. Not by much, but he is offside. Good through ball, good finish, but unfortunately the flag was raised. So it's entertaining, isn't it?
It really is. VAR decision is no goal, and that is just being double checked. And fair play to the officials, because that was the on-field decision. It was tight, but they got that one even with the naked eye spot on.
Yeah.
Mo Salah, as we mentioned, absolutely banging form. 10 of his 12 Premier League goals have come here, and he nearly got another, didn't he? Very, very nearly got another.
I'm just looking back at the Shane Long one when he goes round the keeper. I thought he should have just took the shot on. I do honestly. I thought, you're at an acute angle, the ball's bouncing, just volley it, take your chance. But he didn't.
Just had a look at the reverse angle of the Ings penalty claim, which of course was moments before Liverpool swept forward and scored. And from the reverse angle, it actually adds to your point a bit more that the contact is perhaps a bit more severe than it looked from our side of the pitch, where he is fouled and he tries to stay on his feet and then starts to fall. There looks like a bit more contact from Fabinho in the reverse angle replay than maybe what we initially saw.
Well, I knew he was stumbling as he's going through, but he could have regained his feet. Fabinho goes to ground, lifts his leg and clips Ings' leg to enhance the stumble, if you like.
And Ings doesn't dive because he's trying to stay on his feet, but his body weight is forcing him over as he tries to bear down on goal. So it's not like he kind of fell deliberately. As you say, if he's almost half going, that completes the fall.
Exactly.
Could he have stayed on his feet without the second little touch there, if you see what I mean?
He would have regained his feet and he would have had a clear chance on goal.
But it wasn't put to VAR. And of course, from that same move at the other end, before the ball had even gone dead, Liverpool scored through Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with a goal, by the way. McCarthy furious with his defence for backing off, something they haven't done all game. They've been quite resolute and quite good at keeping their structure, but for the goal there's a gaping gap, isn't there, that McCarthy's got no chance of defending as the keeper.
There's 5 or 6 defenders there in the box that they don't get out. They're trying to get out, but they can't get out to Oxlade-Chamberlain on the edge of the box quick enough.
56 gone, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Josh Atkins looking forward to Liverpool, he says, kicking it up a notch. Well, my friend, they most certainly have with that goal. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Moses Ikue thinks that this will be the final score. They'll hold on 1-0. Alisegri Anuolapu reckons 2-1 to Liverpool in the end. We shall see. That is the same prediction, of course, from our very own Liam Lawrence here. And Chile Kalu reckons 2-0 to Liverpool will be the final score. We shall see, my friend, whether or not that is the case. Keep your tweets coming in at TalkSport Live. Whenever you're listening and what you're up to. Here's the skipper, Henderson. Cross was just a little devoid of direction. Southampton get it clear through Bertrand as far as Moussa Ginepo. Was he fouled? Yep, Fabinho brought him down. They noticed that Fabinho foul, not the one for the penalty though.
I cannot believe the penalty one didn't go to VAR. I'm not a fan of VAR anyway.
Well, Ings was screaming for it to be checked, and he even went across, didn't he, to the fourth official into the Liverpool dugout at the end to remonstrate and make his point after, of course, they then shipped a goal at the other end moments later.
I mean, in such an important instance where Liverpool then go on and score, I don't understand how it's not gone to VAR. Liverpool certainly have had some luck this season with them.
Again, Liverpool's defence stands off a bit. Here comes Southampton. Long finds Danny Ings. It takes a deflection wide for a corner. Ings shooting early off a red shirt, just wide of Alisson's right hand post.
He's a real danger, isn't he, Ings, at the minute? He's a real pest and a menace, and he's sharp. He looked back to his best.
It's Robertson who got back and made the semi-block. 58 gone, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Liverpool on the defensive. It's another Southampton corner. Liverpool, by the way, bidding for a 6th straight league win against Southampton, who have won 2 of their 7 trips in the Premier League to Anfield of late. Ward-Prowse's delivery, looking for Ings, and it was Joe Gomez who got back, the former Charlton man. His header clear was a decent one, and in the end, goal kick for Liverpool, another chance to clear their lines. Southampton haven't scored in their last 3 Premier League trips to Anfield. Couldn't have done much more than score so far today, though.
No, I know that, they've had some unfortunate luck with the referee, but they can be proud of themselves and how they've played today, both defensively and offensively.
Here come Liverpool looking for the second that could kill the game. Firmino to Salah, Oxlade-Chamberlain bearing down, he miscontrols, it's blocked in the end by Stevens, and it also wouldn't have counted because the offside flag had gone up. 59 gone, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Liverpool looking to make it 20 straight Premier League home games as wins, including 12 straight home Premier League wins this season, and that would equal Manchester City's Premier League record of 2011 to 2012, so half an hour away from the joint most consecutive Premier League wins at home ever, so ever since 1990 to 91.
Well, I can easily see them breaking that and going all season unbeaten. I really can.
70 points from 24 games is a record as well in the Premier League era. Will it be 73 from 25? First club in Europe's top 5 leagues ever to even get to 22 wins out of 24 as well. Looking for that second goal. Firmino infield. Here's Henderson. Surely this will be the second. And it is. The skipper delivers. Jordan Henderson smacks it home. Liverpool surging forward. Red bodies swarming left, right and centre. Southampton overrun. And it had to come, didn't it? And it's come from the captain. Liverpool cantering to another 3 points in front of the home faithful. Liverpool 2, Southampton 0.
Well, it's fitting it's Jordan Henderson because he's been unbelievable for Liverpool all season. It's a clearance from Trent Alexander-Arnold in the middle of the pitch. It goes all the way to the left-hand side. Nobody's marking Firmino. He cuts inside the box. Henderson's arriving. He pulls it back to Henderson, takes a touch, smacks it into the roof of the net from about 12 yards out, sends the keeper the wrong way. Great finish. Will that be game over now, or will Southampton come out a little bit and go at Liverpool?
Incredible stuff from Liverpool, and the celebrations were huge, and Firmino and Henderson kind of pressing each other's foreheads against each other with broad grins before a big embrace. I've never quite seen that one before. It's almost like two people squaring up for a fight, but the exact opposite in terms of the fact they're clearly very happy and love each other to bits. It was different.
It's like two bulls butting heads, isn't it?
But like two friendly bulls.
Yeah.
Because you could have a friendly bull.
Two bulls playing in the same team as each other.
61 gone, Liverpool 2, Southampton 0, and listen to the atmosphere, that slight palpable tension, that frustration, that concern about how things are gone, even at 1-0 slightly. It's totally changed now, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, the ball that was pulled back from Firmino, it was precise, it was perfect, he didn't panic, straight into Henderson's path into his feet, and the finish was never in doubt.
Wow, Liverpool just go marching on, don't they? There's been goals, by the way, at West Ham and at Crystal Palace. We'll go there in a moment as Southampton trying to make something happen. Shane Long did well. 3 Liverpool players around him. He still got his cross in, the veteran Irishman. Couldn't quite find Danny Ings. Ings with a surging run to the edge of the 6-yard box, just ahead of him, and eventually out for a throw. Let's take you to another goal, first of all, at the London Stadium.
Here's the corner towards the near post, towards Rice, headed away. Moy can't get there, but Snodgrass with the volley. What a strike by Robert Snodgrass. from 25 plus yards. He gets his second of the game. He runs over to the supporters and is mobbed by his teammates.
Jim Wolfenden, your commentator. West Ham 3, Brighton 1, and a goal finally at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace and Sheffield United.
Gaeta looks out to his right, furthest corner away from him, swung in by Norwood, under the crossbar, good take, oh that's close, I couldn't tell you from here, but Gaeta's caught it on the goal line, and it looks as though Sheffield United have got a goal, and they have a goal. Gaeta has caught it behind the line from Norwood's corner.
Oh, Vicente Gaeta gets that one wrong. Andrew Self, your commentator. Sheffield go a goal up. And where would that put them in our projected table, Liam?
That puts them 5th.
What?
Yes, 5th.
Wow. Above Man United and Spurs and Wolves. Admittedly having played a game more, but that is absolutely incredible for a newly promoted team who've spent some money, as we know, including 22 million on Mr. Berge, but my God, that is absolutely incredible, isn't it, to have that ability to do that. Here comes Southampton, meanwhile, 1-2, and that was a great chance to get back into the game. Ings back as far as his captain, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Højbjerg just didn't quite get his shot away quickly enough. And in the end, it was Joe Gomez who came across and made a big block at the expense of a corner, and Højbjerg is so angry.
He knows that's a chance. He knows that's a big chance to get back in the game.
Did not take it. It's his 100th Premier League appearance, by the way, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg today. He was linked with a move to Spurs on deadline day yesterday, which didn't come to fruition. Staying in Southampton colours, Ward-Prowse's in-swinging corner. Ings yet again was up there. Gineppo has reacted quickly to the loose ball. Was he shoved in the back by Robertson? The answer is no. And now Liverpool can counter-attack. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain runs past two players quite brilliantly. One was Ward-Prowse, the other was Redmond. Both were snapping at his heels. And one of that pair will go in the book. It could be either. Which one do you think will get booked for that?
It could be either of them.
I think. But there again, Redmond was the first one. It is Ward-Prowse, but to me, Redmond was the first one to hack him down.
Yeah, I mean, he's been phenomenal there, hasn't he, Oxlade-Chamberlain? He really has. He rides 2 tackles there. Ward-Prowse ends up having to pull him back because he's just pulling away from everybody.
I think if you book one, you almost have to book both of them for their nibbles there. He's done all right, the youngster, playing right back today as we know, out of position, but he's now in the book, and for the last 25 odd minutes, that's the challenge now, isn't it, when you're not even really a right back?
It is, especially with Oxlade-Chamberlain playing on his side and the form he's in today.
It's the power as well as everything, isn't it? He has some guile and some pace, but it's the fact he's such a powerful player when he surges forward, as we saw there. It's something that a lot of other players in that position don't necessarily have, isn't it? Oh, poor ball, and here comes Southampton again. Gineppo up against the 2 centre-halves. Van Dijk reacted. Oh, and it takes another deflection as far as Shane Long. And Southampton again trying to capitalise on a Liverpool defensive error, not a million miles away from getting a goal. Liverpool a bit harum-scarum at the back. Moussa Gineppo tried to react, and Van Dijk initially, then Gomez just about did enough. Back to Liam in a second as Liverpool counter-attacking again. Story of the match so far. Robertson's early ball looks for Wijnaldum. Southampton get it clear. Robertson picks it back up, but the attack has been snuffed out for a second. That was a good opportunity for Southampton, all of Liverpool's undoing, wasn't it?
It was, and Van Dijk recovers well in the end. It's only him that probably could recover from that situation. It looked like it was lost, and Gineppo was going to get a free shot on goal.
And he's not had his best game at times today, Joe Gomez, but he did well. Ball over the top to Southampton again. Here's Danny Ings, left foot being forced wide, his weaker foot by Van Dijk. Ings tries to clip it in, looking for Shane Long, clips off him as far as Redmond over the top. Long's in an offside position. Gineppo has to let it run, and it's out for a goal kick. What I like there is how the Liverpool centre-halves, particularly Van Dijk, knew to push Ings onto his weaker foot.
Yeah, Ings, his position in Van Dijk is just second to none. People see headers and tackles and things like that, but Van Dijk's positioning is immense. He knows every single player's strengths and weaknesses, and he pushed Ings onto his left there. Just said, go on then, try and beat me on your left foot, and you just can't.
Ball given away again, this time by Henderson, the scorer of the second goal. Groans from the Liverpool fans. It's been a ropey, rickety couple of minutes for the runaway Premier League leaders. And here comes Southampton once more. Redmond, Bertrand and Højbjerg all combining. Liverpool themselves with a decent shape in midfield. What can Southampton do? Ball over the top from the centre-half, Jack Stevens. It's a nice ball to Redmond, who chests it down, running at Alexander-Arnold. Good defending from the youngster, but his clearance goes straight to Bertrand. In-swinging delivery, looking for Long. It's over Shane Long's head. Robertson ducks to allow Oxlade-Chamberlain to get the ball. And Liverpool win the throw. Liverpool 2, Southampton 0. We've played 67 minutes on Premier League Live. Just to update you elsewhere then, West Ham 3, Brighton 1, Watford 2, Everton 2, Liverpool 2, Southampton 0 in our commentary game here at Anfield, Newcastle 0, Norwich 0, Crystal Palace 0, Sheffield United 1, Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 0, earlier Leicester 2, Chelsea 2, and at 5:30, just over an hour's time, Tom Rennie and Dave Kitson will guide you through events at Old Trafford, Manchester United versus Wolves. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in from around the world. Your thoughts on this game, where you're listening from. Seth Anang says the referees have done their part for Liverpool in this victory and during the season, not worthy champions. Interesting, Seth says they've had too many bits of luck. They've been the odd one, but you've got to have a hell of a lot of luck to be 22 points clear.
Yeah, come on, Seth.
Be fair, my friend.
Yeah, if you've seen Liverpool a lot this season, they're fully deserved to be where they are. I mean, they're going to go 22 points clear. There's not been that many decisions that will give them that many points.
No, maybe a few. Here's Ings once more to Ward-Prowse with his weaker left foot. Not the worst of efforts. He's a cultured player and he's always good for a strike at goal, James Ward-Prowse, but he was never going to truly trouble Alisson, was it?
No, there wasn't enough pace on the shot either. He sort of drags it wide, doesn't he? Drags it left of the post.
Well, to see some Southampton substitutions. Che Adams, who almost left the club for Leeds on transfer deadline day. The striker is coming from Birmingham and not had a lot of game time and been a bit frustrated as a result. He has stayed on deadline day. Che Adams will come on for Shane Long, and if I'm not mistaken, the other player coming on is the exciting young Irish striker who himself has had injury setbacks of late, Michael Obafemi. He's a good prospect, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's exciting.
And he's coming off Danny Ings. Sorry to interrupt. Very interesting call.
Yeah, I think both of them are interested, Russell. I mean, I didn't expect Longy or Danny Ings to come off today. I think they've been fantastic. They've worked their socks off, haven't they?
Obafemi, as you were just saying, though, is a good player. It's just a case of picking future battles, and Hassan Hüttl realising this game is in all likelihood cooked and keep these two fresh for what lies ahead.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was thinking game management maybe now and looking at the weeks ahead.
Southampton have got some pretty winnable fixtures to come. They've got their Spurs replay in the FA Cup. We'll come back to this point in a moment. Here's Obafemi, whose first touch is to beat two players. Very nice, but he can't quite beat a third. Henderson intercepts, but it's at the expense of another corner to the Saints. After the Spurs Cup replay on Wednesday, Burnley at home, Aston Villa at home, West Ham away. So winnable games for Southampton, and keep things fresh. A couple of goals in those, bang. Thank you.
Are. I mean, they've looked good today, though, Russell. They have all over the park. They've been unlucky that they've come up against a team that is just unplayable.
Yep. Well, they've certainly given as good as they have got. Ward-Prowse's out-swinging delivery. Gomez's header is a good one. Salah flicks it on. Poor header. Redmond decides to take a pop on the half volley. It's wide of goal. The only defeat they've had in their last 9, bar potentially this in all competitions, was that Wolves game where they led 2-0 and ended up losing 3-2 at home, and almost that was that one kick up the backside to them. But apart from that, it's been a wonderful run. Win against Palace not too long ago. That win against Leicester was excellent, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I can totally see why. I mean, today they've been good, they've been solid. I know it's 2-0, but they've had some luck go against them as well. They really have. They've been unlucky today.
It's Liverpool who lead by 2-1. Trying to make it, 42 games unbeaten in the league, which is ridiculous. There are only 2 teams in world football in the top tier who've managed better records than that. We'll come back to it in a moment. Given away, Mohamed Salah, far too easy. And Salah makes it finally 6 in 6 against Southampton as he bangs home his 17th of the season, denied by VAR earlier in the game. You can't keep Mo down, and the irrepressible Egyptian guides it in, and Anfield erupts a big beam of joy. Liverpool 3, Southampton 0.
Well, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I just want to stand up and applaud some of this at times. It's absolutely beautiful play. Jordan Henderson gets it on the right hand side. He plays a magnificent ball behind the defender into Salah's path on the right hand side of the box. Mo Salah runs at the keeper 6 yards out, dinks it over the keeper nonchalantly. It's absolutely brilliant football.
Lovely goal. All McCarthy could do was come and try and spread himself, and by spreading himself he left himself susceptible to the lob, and it was a just impudent one, wasn't it? The tiniest of deft flicks with the outside of his right boot. Effortless, majestic, classy. There's Mo Salah all over his goal makes it Liverpool 3, Southampton nil. It's a harsh scoreline on Saints, no question. But Liverpool once again go marching on as the scorer of the opening goal, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, is substituted, and on comes Naby Keita, the Guinea international, who hasn't had a lot of game time, so a nice little run out for him in the Premier League.
No, he does need the game time as well, and
used in Europe a bit more actually, wasn't he, previously? But as you say, chance.
Yeah, it's a big chance for him, especially with being 3-0 up now. Just go and express yourself.
There has been another goal in the Bournemouth Villa game. We'll go there quickly.
And Davis. And then a goal for Danu by Samatta. And suddenly from nowhere, Aston Villa are back in it, and on his Premier League debut, and Buana Samatta has headed the ball over the last man and into the net, and it's a lifeline for Aston Villa against the 10 men of Bournemouth.
So new boy Samatta gets that goal to make it 2-1 thanks to Barry Swain, and also Jefferson Lerma has been sent off for Bournemouth as well just before that goal. So Villa get one back, Cherries with 10 men, 2 teams near the foot. That's going to be an interesting finish, isn't it?
It certainly is. Still over 15 minutes left as well. Game on.
Wow. Here, Liverpool 3, Southampton 0. I was just going to say before the goal, only 2 teams in world football have got a better run in the sense of 42 unbeaten league games in a row in a top tier. Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine and a team called Robin Hood who play in Suriname. They're the only 2 teams in the world in any top tier with a better record there, and that's weird. That's games unbeaten, 42 in a top tier, and as we know, Liverpool's wins absolutely blowing everybody around, and in terms of 22 of 24, 23 of 25, best by a country mile. You've got to just stand back and admire, haven't you?
You really have. You really have. We're running out of things to say about Liverpool.
When you go to Suriname to try and find a comparison, you know you're running out of things to go. That's no discredit, of course, to the lovely former Dutch colony either. Here come Liverpool, looking for a fourth maybe, but Gomez gives it away. Got to be careful for a second. Alisson came sliding on that slippery surface and nearly carried his own ball beyond the edge of the penalty area. Realised he might end up getting sent off, so panicked, threw the ball away, and I think he's just about got away with it, but that was nearly one almighty gaff. Does he get away with it? Oh my goodness, probably just right on the white of the line.
We've seen some things today.
We've seen everything today, mate.
That is up there. He throws it out everything for a corner and not a throw-in.
Southampton corner, Ward-Prowse. Oh, Bednarek's up there. Obafemi as well. In the end, it's just behind. I think there was a shove by Michael Obafemi. There was, and it will be a goal kick to Liverpool and a chance to catch our breath.
At last.
Right, we'll guide you through the other scores just quickly because it's so important. Leicester 2, Chelsea 2 earlier. Bournemouth 2, Villa 1. Bournemouth with 10 men. Sheffield a goal up at Palace. Newcastle Norwich is still goalless. Watford and Everton remains 2-2. Cherries, the Toffees, with 2 goals right before half-time from Yerry Mina, having been 2 down. West Ham still leading Brighton 3-1. What a result that could be for them as the pressure continues to go on the Seagulls. And United and Wolves kicks off in just under an hour's time now. Tom Rennie and Dave Kitson, your commentary team on Premier League Live at 5:30. Eric Collins has tweeted us from Chicago, Illinois, saying a belated Happy New Year to you all. If you'd have told me that Liverpool would be 20 points plus clear at the start of February, I'd have thought you were crazy. I love it. I'm doing my laundry while wearing my Liverpool t-shirt. Loving your work as usual, boys. Hashtag YNWA. Eric Collins, as ever, a great place to hear from you from the Windy City. Here come Liverpool looking for a fourth. Salah takes it around 2 players. Bednarek and Bertrand. Jinks it over the top, trying to find Bobby Firmino. And fair play to Jack Stevens, who stood his ground and hacked it to safety.
I think he's just taking the mick there, isn't he? Salah beating 3 players and then beating the same player 3 times. Looks like it's party time for Liverpool.
Absolutely, they've done all the hard work now. They've been pressed heavily for much of this game, but a chance just to open up. Mind you, they're back on the back foot for a second as Southampton have another rare foray. Redmond fed the new man Che Adams, wearing 10, and Che Adams' effort blocked by the Liverpool defence and ricocheting back all the way to halfway. Now Bednarek claims that the ball has caught Firmino's arm. Hasenhüttl beneath us also appealing for a free kick for an inadvertent handball. It's not given, and Liverpool are clear for a fourth. Firmino beats Oriol Romeu. Tired tackle from the Spaniard. Good defending in the end from Bednarek, who dug his teammate out of trouble there and made an important interception.
Yeah, I fear the worst here for Southampton if it carries on like this. Liverpool look like they can attack at will. I think Southampton have got a bit tired, a bit leggy.
And you have to credit Liverpool for that, because they do grind and wear you down, don't they? New Zealand's rugby team at their peak is a great example of a similar thing, where a game could be relatively tight for, say, an hour, but they've just absolutely flogged you to death, and you start to fade, and then they just absolutely go for the jugular.
Well, it just shows you how fit and strong the Liverpool players are when the other team's tiring at 75 minutes and you're still coming in 3s and 4s.
And also how much work they make you do. It's a combination of both things, isn't it? And with that exact thing in mind, here come Liverpool sweeping forward, potentially for a fourth. No. Roberto Firmino, is he onside? I think he was. Good save from McCarthy. Great through ball from the sub, Naby Keita, who picks it up again. Robertson still screaming for it outside him. Oh, Keita tries to go himself for some strange reason. He loses out in the end, but then wins it back off Redmond. And Robertson does finally get it. Left edge of the penalty area. Back heel from Firmino. Appeals for maybe a handball off a Southampton shirt. It's not given. And Saints smack it downfield and try to counter-attack through Michael Obafemi. That's not going to happen. It's back to Alisson. And there's been another goal in the West Ham-Brighton game. Which way's this one gone?
Here's Diop, who's heading it back to Fabianski, who's completely missed it, and the ball will roll in, and it's a calamitous goal which Pascal Gross has got. Brighton and Hove Albion have cut the deficit back to 1. Communication at the back between the West Ham defenders is absolutely atrocious.
Well, West Ham doing their best to give this one away. West Ham 3, Brighton 2. Fabinho with a shot just over the crossbar while we had that cross from Rich Wolfenden. That's really exciting now. 3-2 with still a good 10 odd minutes to go. Could the Seagulls, despite that awful week for their boss, could they get something out of this?
You never know, do you? I mean, anything can happen at West Ham these days.
Just back to the replay on the big screen, not the shot from Fabinho over the bar, but Firmino's opportunity from Keita's through ball. He was onside, and it was good keeping in the end.
It was, yeah. The through ball from Keita was sublime, right into Firmino's path.
Southampton back on the ascendancy for a second through Gineppo. Was he fouled by Alexander-Arnold? The answer is no. It's out for a goal kick. And a key point, isn't it, is that if you're someone like Keita, to get in the team and to even have a hope of staying in the team, when you come off the bench, you've got to be excellent, and that continues to drive standards, doesn't it, and drive the momentum in the way that we're seeing Liverpool go.
It does, because he'll know when he's come on today he's got to make an impact. He has with the passes and how he's been involved, but every single player in that squad knows if you're in that starting 11 you have got to make an impact.
Adai Alabudi DK has tweeted in from Lagos in Nigeria saying, loving the commentary, boys. My prediction for the final score is 4-0. Well, I think that's looking quite likely now. We thought 2-1 at one point, but that seems a long old time ago. As Liverpool, we said they were in second or third gear at one point. They're in about fourth, possibly even going into fifth now in a 6-gear sports car maybe. They're not in sixth yet because they've given the ball away. Obafemi does well. It's jinked on by Højbjerg. As far as Gineppo, through to Che Adams, twisting, turning. Can he get his shot away? Oh, there's an offside. Oh, the frustration. Che Adams can't buy a goal at the moment, can he? He's so hungry. He's such a good player. We've seen that at Championship level, but it's not quite worked out for whatever reason, has it, in the Premier League yet?
It's tight as well. It's really close. Robertson, the far side, sort of in line with him, but it looks like Che Adams' shoulder keeps him off.
Che Adams still without a goal for Southampton this season, and we're seeing a final Liverpool substitution as well. Onto the field comes their recent Japanese signing, Takubi Minamino, who's been getting a bit of game time, hasn't he, of late? He's a decent looking player.
He is. He looks very good. Looks very technical, good with his feet, both feet.
Ball's given away, and here we have the opportunity maybe for a fourth for Minamino. Southampton, their own worst enemy there, as two players left it to each other. Ward-Prowse reacted fairly quickly and he scurried back. At the other end, there's a massive misunderstanding between Gomez and Alisson. Adams was bearing down, and somehow Alisson, kind of karate kick style, acrobatically smashed it downfield. Alisson saying to Gomez, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've got to say, Gomez, as good as Liverpool have been, he's been quite shaky at times. There's been a couple of times he's given the ball away, his positioning's been poor. I mean, that's just silly, that is, defending with
It's Redmond's ball downfield, isn't it? And then he runs across Gomez and then decides to leave it at the last second
without any communication.
One or two fans would say that potentially he is, you know, if you're going to be very harsh, a slightly weak link, and when either Matip or possibly even Lovren play, particularly Matip alongside Virgil van Dijk, maybe that is the strongest combination. There's other arguments to say drop Fabinho back, because Fabinho's done pretty well when he's been needed there, but Gomez not excelled today, I have to say. And for Southampton, another replacement on the field is Sofiane Boufal, the man, of course, who scored the equaliser against Spurs in the Cup last weekend. The Moroccan would really love to make it 2 from 2 off the bench today, wouldn't he?
He would. I'm not sure he's going to get the equaliser today, but one would be nice, wouldn't it?
It most certainly would. He's the man, of course, who broke his toe in bizarre circumstances. Wasn't it in his kitchen, stubbing his toe on a table?
Was it?
Earlier in the season, yeah, he was out for a while, and they did all they could to try and get him back on track. Missed a good chunk of game time. And it was when Southampton was struggling as well. It was in the murky depths of October, November, and it was one of the 7 or 8 things that were going wrong. Anyway, he's back, he's fit, but his team are losing 3-0. There has been another goal in West Ham Brighton. Have the Hammers gone 4-2 up, or have the Seagulls somehow come back to 3-3? We'll let you know in a second. As Southampton bring the ball forward through Jack Stevens. Good ball playing centre half, even though his goal has been breached on 3 occasions. Deflection off Minamino. He's still coming forward, Jack Stevens. Finds Ward-Prowse now to Nathan Redmond, and he pinged that neat ball forward a few moments ago. Minamino and Keita both tracking back, and again trying to deny Southampton time and space on the ball. Here's Ryan Bertrand. Slides it through to Shea Adams. Adams back to Bertrand. Better defending from Gomez this time. That's more like it from the own centre-half. Shepherds it out for a goal kick. We go back to the London Stadium. Which way has that huge goal gone?
Prepper into Solly March. Out to Shalotto. Has March on the overlap if he can use him. He does. Just about. Here is March. Back to Prepper. This is better from Brighton. Quick 1-2 from Graham Potter's side. And now Prepper gets the ball. It's a decent cross. Will it find Murray? It does find Murray, and it rolls in for 3-3.
36 years young, Glenn Murray. Rich Wolfenden, your commentator. 3-3. What a game.
What a game. We mentioned him, didn't we, before on the show? Wow,
we did.
What a player, what a servant he's been for Brighton as well.
Back in the starting lineup despite his advancing years and limited game time, and Graham Potter pulls off a masterstroke, it would seem. Here's Sofiane Boufal, the new man on the field for Southampton, left edge of the penalty area. No real options moving forward, so he goes to his captain Højbjerg. Back to Bertrand, back to Sofiane Boufal, curling effort just wide of the left hand post. He can hit him, can't he? He scored one absolute wonder goal I commentated on last season, where it was a mazy run followed by a lovely finish. When he's on song, he's actually very good, isn't he?
Yeah, when he's
not breaking his toe.
No, when he's not in his kitchen breaking his toe, he's got great ability. Both feet can go either way. He's sharp, and he's got an eye for goal.
Not a million miles away. Can be inconsistent, can be a fairly fiery character, as we well know. But a lot of these mercurial playmakers have got that in them, haven't they? Fire and inconsistency.
Yeah, the ones that are not quite at the top have.
Very, very good way to put it from Liam Lawrence. Here's Bertrand to Michael Obafemi. Offloads it to his fellow replacement striker Shea Adams. Now the other sub Boufal again, trying to prove us wrong by doing something wonderful, and he can't do so in the end. He's up against 2 Liverpool defenders who clear that one easily. Another chance for a Reds counter-attack. This is wonderful from Liverpool. Firmino and Keita involved, freeing Mo Salah, who beats his man. Mo Salah looking for a second goal of the game. Back to Naby Keita, who's missed it. It's wide of goal, and if anything, 2 Liverpool players, as they swept forward, got in each other's way, and they spurn the chance of that fourth, but a glorious counter-attack nonetheless.
It's glorious to watch. It's 4v4. Liverpool go streaming forward. Salah, right hand side of the box, comes in, gets a little bit of luck, squares it to Keita, and it's Minamino that takes it off Keita's foot, and it goes wide and high.
What a chance. Gabriel Jude has tweeted in saying, nice job guys from Lagos in Nigeria, hailing the captain's tendencies and performance of Henderson. Spot on, because he's often kind of overlooked for that role. Robin Michael Toms, massive Liverpool fan and regular tweeter from Brazil, flaying that other tweet earlier that said that Liverpool relied on dodgy decisions and were a bit lucky. He's absolutely gone for that one, saying it's all equalled itself out over a season. He says we do not get all the percentages of possession and decisions our way. Look at all the stats: attack, shots on goal. We are the best, and you know what, I think he's absolutely spot on. Liverpool are the best, and they're romping clear to another 3 points here on Premier League Live. Another corner. Bednarek up against Mo Salah. All the Pole could do was poke the ball from between the Egyptian's legs by the corner flag, and the corner to Liverpool. Easy as that.
I mean, look at that from Salah there. There's 86 minutes on the clock. The ball's going into the corner flag. He's in a race with the centre. He's sprinting on 86 minutes to get that ball and to keep that ball for Liverpool. It's fantastic.
Just looking at that replay for that chance as well, as Minamino and Keita get in each other's way. It was a golden chance for a fourth anyway. James Benitez from Atlanta, Georgia, big Liverpool fan. Nice little gift there of just a slow hand clap of admiration for Liverpool. I like that.
James, that was me on the third goal, mate. That was
just like you. Absolutely. It's almost like your brothers separated at birth. SOT Abondi saying, give us one more Liverpool. That's from Ibadan in Nigeria. Great to hear from you, my friend. And a Brighton fan has tweeted in saying, what we lack in passion, fight, and what we lack, we make up for, in passion and fight. We go to the end, come on, you goals. Great shout for what's going on there, I have to say. Brighton back from 1-0 and 3-1 down to 3-3. Have we got another goal here? Ball goes loose. Fabinho tries to play it to Naby Keita. This time Keita can't quite get there, and I think it was Jack Stevens who stuck out a boot and played it downfield. And we stay at Liverpool 3, Southampton 0 as Becker, under pressure from Michael Obafemi, smacks it down. The Liverpool goalkeeper. And Southampton pick it up on halfway. Ball out of play for another throw as Liverpool tick toward the final couple of minutes of normal time. How would you rate this performance then? On the ropes at one point, but then as soon as that door is opened ajar, they just walk straight through it, Liverpool, don't they?
I wouldn't say it was a complete performance from Champions-esque, but it's been a very good performance accomplished. Apart from a couple of Gomez errors, I think it's been absolutely fantastic. They kept the ball well, they grind you down, don't they?
We could have easily had a penalty early on as well that was not given by VAR. Here's Buffal for Southampton, beats one player in Alexander Arnold. Adam Lallana, by the way, is the player who also came on for Liverpool a few moments ago against his former team. And Lallana with an excellent piece of defensive work. Liverpool trying to counter-attack. Salah was free, screaming for the ball. He'd have been clean through. But Jack Stevens brought down Firmino. Rightly, the Southampton defender is yellow carded. That was cynical and stopped a near certain goal.
It certainly was cynical. I mean, Firmino's through on the halfway line. Salah's to his right. Free on goal, free run on goal. Stevens just drags Firmino's shirt, brings him down.
We talked about Shane Long's rugby tackle earlier on Firmino to stop the goal that went to VAR. That was another rugby tackle in the Six Nations season from Jack Stevens, wasn't it?
Just nearly ripped Firmino's shirt off.
Could you watch those modern stretchy shirts? Otherwise I think it would have been in several pieces. About 30 seconds plus time added on to go as Liverpool look for yet another win on this relentless, merciless run toward the Premier League title. Of course, still going for a first ever Premier League title. They have won many in their illustrious career, the last of them just in the old Division 1 era, as we long well know. Ball given away, Liverpool again going for a fourth. Salah's through ball to Firmino is glorious. Stevens is back, looking back to Salah. Can he get another one? Oh, he can! Mo Salah puts it in off one foot onto the other. It wasn't pretty, but boy was it effective. 2 on the night for Salah. Has 7 in 6 against Southampton, 18 for the season. Salah is bang on form. Liverpool hit 4 in front of their adoring fans at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp with a beaming smile on his face. Liverpool 4, Southampton 0.
Well, them two are quite ridiculous at times, aren't they? It's like they're telepathic. Salah picks it up right hand side of the pitch, crosses the halfway line, drives at the Southampton defence. Firmino's running ahead of him, runs in behind the defender. Salah finds him. Firmino cuts inside, gets a bit of luck. Salah's arriving 7 yards out. There's a bit of a deflection as it falls to him and as he bundles it over, but they are a joy to watch.
It is his goal though, isn't it? Just triple checking.
It is. It
hits Ward-Prowse and the keeper, and lastly Salah. Yeah, it is Mo Salah's goal.
You just have to stand and applaud this at times. It really is that special, what you're seeing, what you're witnessing from this Liverpool side.
Wow. 4-0 Liverpool lead. And yeah, that is 12 in 13 at home in the Premier League this season for Mo Salah. Just absolutely absolutely brilliant. Happiness says no one can stop Liverpool this season. It would be the £1 million question to find somebody that could. I agree. Here's Buffal at the other end, by the way, trying to get a goal for Saints up against Alexander-Arnold. Tame shot saved from an acute angle by Allison. Prince Henry Cathidua, another regular tweeter, loving your magnificent, splendid commentary, boys. From Ghana, at this stage I can safely say Liverpool have won the league, and comfortably. Prince Henry, I don't think we can disagree with any word of that. Apart from the bit say we're splendid, we'll probably disagree with that bit. But in terms of Liverpool,
totally agree with you there, Prince Henry. 100%. It's Liverpool's league now,
and the atmosphere is just superb at the moment. The fans all loud and proud and screaming to a man, woman and child around Anfield, apart from in the sliver of the Southampton end. Even their fans, I think, are relatively happy with the effort Southampton have put up, despite the fact they're losing 4-0, which kind of says it all.
They've actually played quite well.
Yeah,
that's the bad thing.
Well, they were in this game big time until they went to 2-0, which was only, 20 odd minutes ago.
Yeah.
Here's Bertrand, and again Southampton would love to get something out of this. I think safely they do deserve something out of this, even if it's one goal. Will it be here? Buffal's in swinging delivery. Did it take a sliver for a deflection, I wonder? Redmond tried to ghost it at the far post. Don't think it did. Nice play from Sofiane Buffal, but behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Allison gets away with one here. I'm sure he tips it at the back post. He does. I'm sure he does.
Pulled his hand away, didn't he?
Yeah.
A bit like when he nearly took it out for I guess an indirect free kick and maybe a red card. It was similar to that.
Launched it out for a corner.
Yes. Had a few moments in this game. Very quickly, Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 1 still. Remember, Cherry's 10 men, but trying to cling on for what would be a huge 3 points against their fellow strugglers. Still Palace 0, Sheffield 1, as they bid to go 5th for a few hours at least. Still goalless Newcastle, Norwich. Still 2-2 Watford, Everton. Still 3-3 in that epic between West Ham and fellow strugglers Brighton. Earlier Leicester 2, Chelsea 2. As we look for another goal for Liverpool. Salah to Firmino. Back to Mo Salah, who, don't forget, is on a hat-trick. 10 yards out, twisting, turning. Back to Firmino, who can't get his shot away. And in the end, Southampton do smack it downfield. Højbjerg, the captain, just about does enough, and he's the right place at the right time to spare further Southampton blushes. 5 would be really harsh.
It would be harsh, but you wouldn't put it past Liverpool. Every time they go forward, Russ, I'm on the edge of my seat. You just feel like a goal's going to happen.
It's been a late goal, by the way, in the Watford-Everton game. We'll go there in a bit. It was 2-2, all of those goals in the first half. At one point, don't forget, Watford for 2-0 up, so we'll bring you that goal as soon as we get it. I'll leave everybody in suspense until we can go there. And we tick into the 4th and final minute. Don't forget, 5:30, it's Man United against Wolves with Tom Rennie and Dave Kitson. And there goes the full-time whistle. It's another 4-star play from Liverpool, whose relentless march to the Premier League title continues. Southampton dared to poke the bear with a few opportunities. Liverpool on the ropes at one stage, you feel, in the game. Their response, emphatic, clinical and quite brilliant. 2 more goals from Mo Salah during it. Liverpool make it unbelievably 24 wins in 25, 73 points for the season. We're just into February, and they do go 22 points clear for at least 24 hours in the Premier League table. Wonderful stuff as the rain now tumbles down. It doesn't blight or lessen the atmosphere one jot at Anfield. It's finished Liverpool 4, Southampton 0. Let's take you to that goal at Vicarage Road. Which way has it gone?
Long throw. Holgate heads it clear. Keane. Moise Keane flicks it on, and Everton are on the charge here. Richarlison looks like he's going to go on his own, is he? Tries to feed it into Moise Keane. Miss hit. Walcott might get there. Theo Walcott! Looks to have stolen it for Everton. The 10 men of Everton in the last minute of normal time on the counter-attack. They've not won a game after being behind in the Premier League for 35 matches. When going behind, this would be the most unlikely comeback. The Watford fans are stunned. Everton are delirious. It's 3-2 to the Merseysiders.
Ian Williams, your commentator. Unbelievable from 2 down. 2 goals on the stroke of half-time from Mina, and Theo Walcott, he's had a lean old run, hasn't he? What a story.
The forgotten man, isn't it? I mean, fair play to Everton, being 2-0 down, coming back and winning 3-2. I think with 10 men as well.
Yep. Fabian Delph, we should say, was sent off in between 2-2 and 3-2.
Unbelievable scenes.
Wow. So they're still playing in that game. We're into the 4th of 5 added on. Watford 2, Everton 3. Full time has just gone in the West Ham Brighton game. That's finished 3-3. And it was full time a few moments ago in Bournemouth Villa. And Bournemouth have held on with 10 men to win that one 2-1. Interesting to see on our monitor here, Ryan Fraser immediately kind of given all the plaudits by his manager Eddie Howe, because he obviously set up one of the goals. And Fraser admitting himself this week he's not been a team man with his head turned after his Arsenal move didn't happen.
Yeah, I did think that myself. When all them rumours were going about him moving, he did dip in form, didn't he? And he hasn't been the same, so he just needs to get his head down, get back on track and get back to doing what he was doing.
Wow. SOT Abunde from Soccer Ibadan, Nigeria says you'll never walk alone. What a performance from Salah. And Anthony Ashikwofi also just celebrating yet another Liverpool win. Everybody around the world at TalkSport Live, your thoughts on this stunning Liverpool team. Keep them coming in. It has been magnificent, hasn't it? Not always, as you said, at their best. Rickety, particularly through Gomez at the back, but when they get it right, particularly in attack, it's just wonderful.
It's like I said to you earlier, Russ, I just feel that this Liverpool team, if they need to go up a gear, if they need to sort something out or adjust something or score, they've always got it in them. They can score goals at will. Look at them second half. They could have scored 6 or 7 if they really wanted. They were absolutely brilliant.
We're to the 6th minute of 5 in the Watford-Everton game. It's still 3-2 and still the game goes on at Vicarage Road. Next up for Liverpool, that Shrewsbury replay in the Cup on Tuesday, when of course controversially it's going to be the academy coach and the academy team playing, because it's technically in the Premier League winter break, the staggered winter break. That's been a bit controversial, hasn't it?
It has, and I don't think you really want me to go into that because we haven't got time. I don't agree with it, let's just put it that way.
Fair enough. After that, little break, and then they play. I'm actually doing the game. It's Norwich in a 5:30 kickoff away in a couple of weeks' time, and then Champions League is back. Atletico Madrid last 16 first leg at Anfield on Tuesday the 18th. So 3 big games and 3 big tournaments to come up, 2 of which they're respecting. 1, you could say they're not, but I'm not going to poke you anymore on that because that would be harsh. Full time has gone and it's finished. Watford 2, Everton 3. The Hornets fans on our monitor look stunned, having been 2 up. That's massive for Everton after all the issues we talked about pre-match, isn't it? And for Carlo Ancelotti.
It really is, with it not just being an away win, but coming back from 2-0 down, that'll give some of them players massive confidence.
So let's round it up then. It's full time everywhere. Bournemouth 2, Villa 1, Palace 0, Sheffield United 1. In our game, Liverpool 4, Southampton 0, Newcastle 0, Norwich 0, Watford 2, Everton 3 has just gone full time, the last of them. 3-3 West Ham Brighton, earlier Leicester 2, Chelsea 2, 5:30 it's Man United versus Wolves. And looking at that table, 73 points for Liverpool, 22 clear of Man City, and as you predicted, Sheffield United go 5th for a few hours at least until Man U play. They temporarily at least drop to 6th. And at the bottom, it's West Ham back into the bottom 3 with Watford and Norwich. Villa are just out of it despite their loss. Bournemouth are the big winners here, aren't they?
They really are. I mean, look how close that is. It's so close up to 15th. There's only a point in it.
Unbelievable. Liam, it's been an absolute pleasure as ever, my friend. Liam Lawrence alongside me, Russell Hargreaves here at Anfield, where it's finished Liverpool 4, Southampton 0. Premier League Live.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Hello, I'm Tom Rennie from TalkSport, and you've made the decision to listen to Premier League Live. I commend you on this decision. You're clearly a person who knows what's up and what's happening, as well as other phrases from 80s movies said by generic cool people in said movies. For example, Emilio Estevez. With that being said, why not try downloading TalkSport's football-related Game Day podcasts? Ahead of a Premier League weekend, usually on Thursday, Sam Matterface hosts the Game Day Premier League Preview Show podcast. On Saturday, we cut up the very best of our manager reaction and player interviews, bung in a few funny callers, and hey presto, you get the Your Verdict podcast. And on Monday morning, Danny Kelly is joined by the likes of Mark Webster, Mark Smith, Steve Lomas, David Connolly, and a host of other affordable names to look back at the footballing weekend, picking out the winners and losers in the Record Book podcast. Just search for Game Day podcast and they will appear. I'm in some of these shows too.
TalkSport. Don't be like Alan Brazil. Never miss a day's output with the new updated TalkSport app. Is that right, Alan?
I'm absolutely knackered.
Download the app at TalkSport.com. This is what real sport sounds like.
This Saturday is game day on TalkSport 2.
Your go-to destination for a full-service Premier League experience.
One day, so much football.
He shoots, he scores.
This Saturday is game day on TalkSport 2.
It is game on.
TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app now for online fun, fixture talk, and lashings of live football. Football. Then stick it in your ear. Ouch. TalkSport. This is what real sport sounds like.
Saturday is game day on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's big ticket live Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
Hi, I'm Matt Target from Aston Villa. Hi, I'm Bournemouth centre-back Chris Mepham.
Hi, I'm Jan Vertongen. Listen to Game Day on TalkSport.
Game day.
It's a brilliant goal.
This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League. TalkSport. Get with the net, Grandad. Make space on your mobile for the TalkSport phone app. The channel-hopping, station-swapping gizmo that's taking the UK by storm. It's ear trumpet compatible. Download the TalkSport app now at TalkSport.com.
Listening to our coverage of Manchester United in action against Wolves in the Premier League. Russell Hargreaves, TalkSport's coverage as we build up to our final commentary of the day on Premier League Live. It's on the back of an epic round of 3 p.m. games in the end. In our featured commentary, Liverpool sticking 4 past Southampton. Not maybe as straightforward as it looked, but regardless, they have gone a majestic 22 points clear at the top of the table until at least tomorrow when Manchester City head to Spurs.